FDMG!
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Umar Johnson. I am a certified school psychologist.
Hi, Dr. Umar. I'm so happy that you're my principal. I love FDMG. Can you tell me about the school?
We are going to make history. We are going to shock the world. We are going to transform the entire community, one black boy at a time. In this school, you don't have to worry about special education. In this school, you don't have to worry about ADHD diagnoses. In this school, you will never get a phone call from a teacher or an administrator telling you that your child needs dangerous psychiatric medication in order to get an education.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
Don't encourage me if you welcome everyone. Thank you so much for tuning on in, and we're winding down this series. We won't finish it today, but we're getting really close. What we're doing is we're doing a 2025 year in review dealing with Umar. And he did appear online. Let me fix this real quick. He appeared online yesterday. We covered that yesterday, but he's been largely absent off of the internets. Excuse me. There we go. So what we're going to be getting into today is the munition. And Umar, he was so close to actually losing these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. And it has to do with Umar not paying bills going back to 2019. By the way, he acquired these abandoned buildings in February of 2019, which means that in less than a month, it's going to be 7 years later. One of the things that kind of gets lost in the sauce of the Umar Johnson saga is the FDMG school scam and how long it's been going on. We did a poll like maybe about a month ago or a month and a half ago, and I asked people, when did the FDMG school scams begin? A lot of people thought it started in 2019. That's when he purchased or acquired, I should say, these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. But there were also people who said it started in 2014. What they were referencing was the St. Paul school scam. That was Really what's happened over the years is that Umar's had different iterations of the FDMG school scam. Just think of FDMG school scam as like the general project, if you will, but then there's specific forms of this school scam. And you can do that by city or even state or even country, because he said he was going to have one in Ghana one time. That's another scam. Detroit, that was a horrible one. We have video of that one. We've covered that extensively over the years. In fact, Black Anonymous has a fantastic blog post on that. He said he was going to open one in California. He said he was going to open one in Atlanta, Chicago, Florida. I remember this one guy called into a radio show. Yeah, I just was calling in to see what's the status of the school that you're going to open in Florida. And I was like, never said that. No, wherever he would go, he would say that he's looking at a school in that particular city, in that particular state. And yeah, in some cases in different countries. So I think one of the things that kind of gets lost in all this is how long this has been going on and how many iterations, if you will, of this FDMG general school scam. So a lot of people thought it was 2014. Of course, there are people who thought that it started in 2010, and I could see that, and I totally understand why someone would think that, because that's when Umar posted, this is the most important receipt that anyone could ever view about this general school scam, and that's this receipt right here. He posted this 16 years ago. It's 16 years old now in a week, 16 years and 1 week old. Umar Abdullah Johnson promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys, specializing in learning disability and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening September 11, 2013. But what my research shows is that Umar Johnson conceptualized FDMG in 2004. He said 2005, then he said it was before that. Okay, well, that's 2004. This has been going on for a very long time. Furthermore, under this general banner of the FDMG school scam, he's had other FDMG related scams that he's talked about over the years, including a documentary that never premiered. We've talked about that recently. It was supposed to premiere in the fall of 2014. But I want to show you guys another receipt here from 2010. This is another example of a different iteration of under the banner of FDMG. This was from March 3rd of 2010. Umar Abdullah Johnson is looking for young Black males, high school, 14 to 17 years, to work in the FDMG aftercare and summer camp for Black boys this spring and summer. This never materialized. I am also looking for Black males interested in teaching at the FDMG school for Black boys. Must have a bachelor's degree, squeaky clean child abuse clearance, and with no felonies in the state, FBI criminal clearance. Email resume and clearances to Umar Abdullah Johnson at yahoo.com. No sisters. Okay. By the way, I'm a stickler for integrity and specificity. And so if you notice these two posts, both of these posts are from Umar Johnson's his original Facebook page. But if you look, there's a different icon. The image there is different. And the reason why is because I took I probably took this image photo of this, a screenshot of this probably back in 2019. And then this one I took in 2025. So Umar's changed that image since, but this is still his Facebook page. He's since taken this post down. I think he's taken both of these down at this point. But I have screenshots of all of it for his whole Facebook page. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because sometimes it gets lost in the whole saga of the Umar Johnson saga, because there've been so many things that have happened over these many years, and sometimes we forget about how long this has been going on. Which brings us to what we're going to get into today, because in February 2019, Umar finally acquires his abandoned buildings. Since that time, not one Black child has been educated. He continues to lie. He continues to collect money for it, but then he also continues to lie about when it's going to open. And not one Black child has been educated since. So if you think about this, 2004 was when he conceptualized it. We're in 2026. We're talking roughly 12, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, 11 years, and there's still no functional school. Not one Black child has been educated. He's been collecting money. There's people, again, who say 2006, 2007, 2008. I go with 2009. Umar states that he didn't collect his first donation for FDMG until 2014, but I have a receipt that I've shown more recently wherein he posted on his Facebook page, the same Facebook page I was just referencing. He had posted that he had received a donation, a land in the form of land in California. And that was in 2012. So he's been at this for a very, very long time. All right. Okay, so what I like to do during this live stream, and we're gonna get in here and get busy, and I'm gonna try to stay on task. I'm trying to do shorter shows. I'm working on this next segment of the document. I'm gonna have this available for members either tomorrow or Thursday. What I like to bring up now is the munition. Okay, so everything that's taking place for all these years. Last year was huge for various reasons, but Umar, he very close to actually losing these abandoned buildings, and that's what we're going to get into today. But before we do this, kind of warm things up. Real quick, Daxter says Jermaine, a.k.a. Umar, a.k.a. Manjaw. yeah. Umar, he has spoken. He has stated a lot of negative things about the LGBT community, and whatever you may believe about it, that's your business. Okay, there was a time where, well, I've talked about that in the past. These days, I'm much more mature. I'm also a lot wiser, and I just want people to live their best life. Okay, whatever you do, that's your business. Live your best life, and that's all that matters to me. As long as you're a good person, you ain't hurting other people. But Umar, he spent a lot of time criticizing LGBT. But the truth is that there's other issues going on with Umar that were exposed in 2025 as it relates to him meeting up with this metrosexual male. And there's video footage of this metrosexual male. And Umar paid Marianne Laurent an out-of-court settlement to keep that information secret. And more specifically, the video footage. He didn't want that video footage to come out. And the settlement that he tried to sue her for $500,000, $500,000, dealing with this project, this movie that she produced, she financed and everything. He didn't provide any kind of backing whatsoever. He was trying to steal her intellectual property, and then he also tried to sue her for $500,000. Well, she didn't go for it. She lawyered up, and Umar ended up paying a settlement of $68,600 to the same woman that he tried to sue for $500,000 and steal her intellectual property. What does that tell you? And the reason why he paid that out is because he didn't want that video footage to come out. And as the story goes, there was a metrosexual type of male who came to the shooting, the space where they were doing the filming, right? And ended up going back with Umar to Umar's hotel room. The filming ends at around 2 a.m. And the justification was that this metrosexual male was going to wash Umar's hair and comb his hair, or whatever term, scrub his hair, whatever it is. And they go, and this is after 2 a.m. And so what happens is that this metrosexual male, he ends up staying the night there. And then when they pick Umar up, he blurts out, it got late, so he stayed. It was already late. What you mean it got late? Doesn't even make sense. See, he didn't have to say any of this. It's just Umar trying to paint a narrative because he knew that there were people were probably going to be wondering what was going on. Plus, there's video footage of their interaction too, by the way. Not in the hotel room, but I'm talking about on set or in the general area where they were filming. So Umar blurts out, "Yeah, well, it got late, so he came to wash my hair. He stayed the night, but he slept on the couch." Well, as it turns out, Marianne Laurent, she explains all of this. There was no couch inside of that hotel room. In fact, she went back and took video footage of that hotel room and shared that with people. Umar lied about that. That metrosexual male slept in the bed with Umar. So the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because Umar has spent so much time degrading LGBTQ, okay, more specifically homosexual males, and yet it is clear to me that he has some stuff going on with himself, if you guys understand what I'm saying. And listen, it doesn't change my critique of Umar, nor does it change my analysis of the FDMG school scam. It just shows how much of a hypocrite that he is. And furthermore, he's been calling me gay it's been over half a decade. Okay, that's not true. But the point is, with what he has going on, and there's video footage of an interaction that was suspect anyway. I apologize, I'll use the term, it was suspect. People were asking questions like, what's going on with this? It doesn't sound right, doesn't seem right. Okay. And again, by the way, Marianne Laurent told me about this prior to her Umar settling out of court to keep this all hush hush. She told me this prior to that. So I'm at liberty to talk about it. So anyway, Manjaw. we'll leave it right there. We'll leave it right there. Okay. Smart Barbie said, Lenon going to tell the Sponge Zaddy story every stream. I try to find ways to work it in. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be like that, but if you're going to go at somebody and lie on this person for half a decade, and then this comes out, I should be able to speak on it. You know, now if Umar hadn't done that for 5 years, you know, and there's other issues too, you know, going after my wife and you know, all this other stuff that I've had to deal with dealing with Umar over the years, and then his followers too that I've had to deal with. And a lot of those followers, they were weaponized by Umar in the first place. You guys have to understand that about Umar. What he does is it's coded language, because he did that in 2025 with his daughter. He told them, told his followers to get into her DMs and go at her, and that's precisely what they did. So he weaponizes his followers in this way. So if Umar hadn't done that for over 5 years, would I even be talking about this? Yeah, but I probably wouldn't be talking about it and being petty. That's the best way I can say it. I wouldn't be petty like this, but I think I have the right to be petty because, some things just go too far. And he went too far for half a decade, and then here we are. You know, it is what it is. Okay. Thanks, Mark Barbie, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And user 225 says Umar Johnson should work in sewage because he uncovered. All right, that's enough. All right. Thank you, user 225. Okay. All right. So let's get into this, everyone. Thank you guys so much again for tuning on in. We're going to pick it up. Instead of starting right with the munition, I want to go to a video that Umar posted 4 days prior to the munition situation coming out. And that's where the city of Wilmington, they were in the process of, and they gave him a date by which he needed to resolve all these past due bills. The past due bills were in the amount of $38,388.22. Again, I'll say that again, $38,388.22. In fact, I'll put it inside the chat room right here. Oh, thank you, Lagash, and shout out to Canada. Lenon always brings receipts. Appreciate you doing the boring work so people can't dodge. Yeah, the thing is that it's not just the receipts and it's not just the research. And I've done extensive research on Umar, and not just Umar, people who've been associated with Umar, family members, but that's most of the family members. The overwhelmingly is beyond the scope. Okay, because there's a lot that I can say about all of that too. But out of respect for his siblings. Right. There's only, like, for instance, I have pictures of his mother. Would I ever show that to people? No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That's beyond the scope. See? So it's not just the research, it's also having ethics. I'm not here to paint a narrative about Umar or lie about Umar. That's not what I do. In fact, that's egregious in my opinion for people to do that. And Umar's done that with me. He's lied about me a lot. He's painted false narratives too. I give an example. See, this is what I mean, but I can be petty. There was a time where I used to do these videos where there were younger people that would contact me. They would have questions. And one person that contacted me and they were struggling with their sexual identity. Okay. So I think, and I can't remember if memory serves me correctly. I think it was a male. It could have been a female who was lesbian, but from what I remember, because it was such a long time ago, it was a male who was gay. And was having these issues with his parents and family members. And so he had explained all this stuff. And I'm assuming it's such a long time ago, but just follow me on this. And so they emailed and asked me, well, what should I do? How do I handle this? And there, a lot of stress that they were dealing with. And then they said something to the effect of, I'm struggling with my sexuality and I don't know what to do. Something to that effect. So what I did was I answered that person. I was trying to be helpful. And the title of the video was, I'm struggling with my sexuality. I don't know what to do. Something to that effect. Okay, don't quote me on that, but it's because it's such a long time ago. But what does Umar do? He posts that video, not the actual video, but he posts a screenshot of that video to imply that me personally, that I struggle with my sexuality and I don't know what to do. Okay, that shows a lack of integrity. And you can do that because there are people who do that. They've done it with me. They'll take a clip and it'll make it appear as if I'm saying one thing. Well, that's not exactly what I'm saying. There's no context or nothing like that. And what they're doing is, in some cases, they're flat out lying, but in other cases, they're trying to paint a narrative. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, I've never done that with Umar. Never. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. And people who do that, their intent, it's not about truth. It's not about, keeping people safe or anything like that, or giving people the tools to make better decisions when dealing with people like Umar Johnson. They do that simply because they want to cause harm to someone else. And then we have to ask the critical question, why would someone get online simply to cause harm to other people? Dempsey Spears was like that. There's a whole host of other people too. And that's what, but see, that shows a lack of integrity. So I just want to reiterate that, yeah, I have the receipts. I've done the research. I'll propose that I've done more research than anyone else. Okay. I'll propose that I'm the most requested. I'll propose that, I have more. See, now start sounding Umar, but no. In truth, I've done more research on Umar than anyone else. But it's not just that. It's about the integrity. It's about presenting the information in such a way where, yeah, we have a good time and there's comedy there too. But then I'm also fair. Can no one ever tell me that I've lied on Umar? Which brings me to something too, by the way. Let me read you something because I forgot to take a screenshot. Matter of fact, I'll take a screenshot of it and share it with you guys. I found this to be fascinating. Yeah, here it is right here. So let me just take a quick screenshot and then I'll share it with you guys because it ties to what I'm talking about here. And if the app's not opening for some reason. If there are, here it is. If there's an Umar Johnson follower, give me one example of me lying on Umar. If you're in the chat room right now, give me just one example of me lying on Umar. I never have, never will. I'm not going to paint false narratives to cause harm to him either. That's unethical. That's the word I was looking for earlier. And above all else, we have to have ethics. Okay, let me save this and let me share this with you guys right quick. So this is something that, and shout out to Brother James because he sent it to me. I'm so busy with other stuff, and then also with the documentary, I don't really get time to get over to Umar Johnson's Instagram page. James, if there's ever anything that's worth even looking at, James usually sends it to me. So shout out to James, thank you so much. So let me share this with you guys, and then we'll get into it. Here you go. All right. So if we look at this, this is on Umar's. This is his Instagram page. Don't do perfectly imperfect. Don't do that. All right. So he posted this right here. This was a text message, and someone had texted him. So glad I heard you last night. And I'm going to assume that this was out in New York because he was out in New York. I had to leave at 9 when my access ride came. So I think that's when her car or whoever it was that was going to pick this person up came. And then Umar responds, "Appreciate you, Queen Mother." And then she replies, "Wish I could have heard the entire lecture. YouTube is telling a lot of lies about you." And then Umar responds, "They are indeed, Queen Mother. I have faith that the Most High will allow our ancestral army to fight with us all the way to the finish line. Hashtag FDMG is coming." So what I think about is that just based on Umar's response is that this is related to this brief text is related to FDMG, and that somehow there are people who are lying about Umar when it comes to FDMG. Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I've never lied on Umar when it has come to FDMG. In fact, I've given Umar the benefit of the doubt time and time again, including the receipt that I played where Umar states that he purchased a purchase price was around $700,000, but I go with based upon the online receipts because Umar is a pathological liar of $400,000. Would I give Umar the benefit of the doubt because that means that there's $300,000 that I'm just saying, okay, we're just going to say that wasn't spent somehow. But if we go with Umar's narrative or with what he says, that's another $300,000 that Umar Johnson raised somewhere, and there's still not one black child's been educated. And again, in 2025, he's telling people that he hasn't raised $1 million yet. How can you say that in 2025? If the purchase price alone was $700,000, and the purchase price that's from 2019, well, then you have the rest of 2019. Well, he purchased February 2019. You have the rest of 2019 to collect money. You have 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and at that time, most of 2025, 6 more years, you haven't raised $300,000 in 6 years. He's a pathological liar, but I always give him the benefit of the doubt. Can't nobody tell me that I've lied on this guy. Again, I'll encourage someone inside the chat room right now, hashtag it so I can see it and put it in all caps. Where have I lied about Umar? I'll wait. You can't do it unless you're lying about it. Okay. Okay. That's one thing I've learned since I've been covering Umar is that there is a lot of people who lie. They lie about Umar. They lie about other people. Okay. I don't do that. Won't do it. It's ethics and morality. Okay. If that makes sense. All right. California love. All right. Shout out to Cali. Shout out to the Cali group. Thank you so much, Dreezy. Drummer Dre. Dreezy Drummer Dre. Yeah. Okay. Let me do these super chats real quick. Then we're going to get into it. Let's see. What's up, Heartbreaker from the Bronx says you got every right to be petty, Lenon. Yeah, well, I try not to be. I try not to be. But I think I've gone through enough, and it's not just me. It's my wife and my children, we've gone through enough dealing with this Umar Johnson stuff to where I could be petty and I can let loose a little bit. Still, though, the focus is on the receipts, and the focus is on the FDMG school scam, right? That has been the main focus. But yeah, I think I give myself enough leeway. I'll put in enough of time. I put in enough time. Right? I mean, that's the thing people don't realize. Just a shock. The documentary that I'm working on dealing with Umar, it's extensive, and the amount of time that I've put in already. And I think we're going to get through real quick, because we start when Umar was born in 1974, but we also cover his part of his father's life. This next segment should get us through 2010. Yeah, it'll get us. Yeah. This will get us through 2010, because December 15th of 2010, that's when Umar had a landlord-tenant complaint. It was filed in Philadelphia Municipal Court, the First Judicial District of Pennsylvania, and Umar owed $500.13 in rent. See the research? Now, I don't have to make anything up. People can just do their due diligence. That's what I'm saying. You can look this up yourself. This is all public record. So I don't have to paint a false narrative about Umar. It's not necessary, right? Additional fees, including court costs, made the total $833.13 as of the date of the hearing. Umar Johnson also owed ongoing rent in the amount of $1,189. So again, if Umar was this big-time psychologist, this is what I mean by critical thinking. If Umar was this big-time school psychologist back in 2010, as he claims to be, and school principal and psychotherapist and child therapist, and he's putting in 80 hours a week, he actually said this type of stuff. Okay? Anyone who's watched the documentary so far, the rough draft, hit the one. Why couldn't he come up with the $833 or $500.13 in rent, or the $833.13 in court costs? And by the time the hearing takes place, $1,189 in total. Why couldn't he come up? Well, that's because Umar wasn't working consistently by that time. I've already told people that. Anyway, I can go on and on and on. That's what I'm saying. The research in and of itself, I think it gives me a little bit of leeway to be petty. Okay, all right. Thanks, Heartbreaker from Bronx. Shout out to the Bronx. Brother Malik says, shout out Lenon and the Cookie Crush family. Thank you so much, Brother Malik. Salute to you. Happy New Year. And thank you so much for coming on to the show for our New Year bash. I appreciate you, bro. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Jay Pause 444 says, thank you, Lenon. I once believed in Umar. I discovered you from people in the comments on his video saying Lenon is going to have fun with this video. Yeah, people do that. I looked you up, ain't looked back since. Yeah, people do that. Like that's why Umar, he doesn't say my name. He won't do that because he knows. And this has happened in the past, back in the day when he used to say he doxed my personal information and told his followers. And I mean, he was really being egregious, telling his followers to come and get at me. And he had going to have a pull up team and a ski mask club, and we gonna get him. We gonna get him, talking crazy, real reckless. Back then he would have more courage. See, but that was his biggest mistake, because I've been done talking about him a long time ago. But when you do that to another man, you put that man's family in jeopardy simply because that man is telling the truth about you. That's like trying to punk somebody. And I'm not the one to be punked. I've never been like that. I'm about respect. You respect me, we good. Okay. I respect you. Okay. You disrespect me, we not good. It's that simple. That's how I roll. You respect me, I respect you, we good. I'm loyal I'm loyal like a hound dog. I'll ride with you. We good. You disrespect me, okay. I may forgive you the first time, may forgive you the second time, but by that third time, that's it. We done. See. So what Umar did was it puts my family in jeopardy at that time. And I would have been done talking with him, but I'm not gonna be punked by no man. Plus being disrespectful, calling me gay and all this other stuff. Where I come from, you don't do that to another man. You just don't do that. You don't weaponize homosexuality against heterosexuals. You just don't do that. And that's what Umar was attempting to do. Meanwhile, he the one up in here at room 130 doing what he do in 2020. Actually, that was in 2023. Ain't no telling what else he been doing. I'll stop. I'm gonna leave right there. Anyway, I would have been done talking about it. That was his biggest mistake, because that's when I made a commitment. I'm gonna bring this guy to justice one way or the other. One of his biggest mistakes. And even still, can't nobody tell me that I've lied on this guy one time or painted a false narrative. Can't do it. All right. So there's times where Umar do a video, and then people in the comments say, well, I can't wait till LenonHonor gets a hold of this one. So when people post that in the comments, people come over here. Now, what happens is there's going to be people that they're still going to defend Umar, and I get that. Okay, and I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm here to present the information as fairly as possible with receipts and with a little humor too here and seriousness at times, so that people can have informed consent, meaning that they know what Umar is about before they continue to defend him or support him or what have you. That's all. That's all. Okay. Thank you, Jay, for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right, and I got this from California Love. Shout out to Cali. Heartbreaker from the Bronx says, thoughts on Umar's liar, liar, pants on fire, and the burning pants are hanging with the telephone wire. Yeah. I'm going to tell you guys, Umar, he's a pathological liar. Some people say habitual. In all fairness, I don't think that Umar is a habitual. I mean, he's on the verge. The difference is a pathological liar. They lie to paint a narrative, to misrepresent the reality. They want people to think a particular way about a situation or circumstance or about themselves. As an example, I know I was joking earlier. If Umar says, I'm a school psychologist, it's not that he's lying for no reason. He's lying and saying that he's a school psychologist because he wants people to perceive him as such, as like he's some sort of professional. So the pathology is that he wants people to see him in a particular way, and he'll lie in order to achieve that goal. Right? And there's different types of liars. You know, there's people who are compulsive liars, like they lie for no reason. And there's people who suggest that he's a compulsive liar. I don't think so. I think Umar is mainly a pathological liar. And so when he made that post right here, and he's talking about, you know, there's people who's lying on him about FDMG. Listen, there may be, and I'm sure that there are. There's people who lie about me. But Umar, you can't tell me that I've lied about you or that I've lied about you about FDMG. You can't say that. I've always been fair. So you see, the thing is that if you had kept your mouth closed back in the day, it wouldn't have got escalated to this point. See, last year, Umar, you were up here posting my wife's picture and calling me Pastor Boosie and telling and doxing my wife's email address and telling her followers to just like you did with your own daughter, to tell her to tell your followers to email my wife, and that's exactly what they did. Ain't no coming back from that. Not where I come from. See, you ain't gonna try no shit like that, like in real life. You wouldn't have done that. And I know you wouldn't have done that because you marshmallow. Room 130 ass. What you talking about? Big old sissy. Anyway, sometimes I gotta handle that. You know what I'm saying? People be popping up off them. I give y'all the good show. Y'all hit the one. I give you guys a good show. Cut it out. Umar's hilarious though. I ain't gonna lie, he hilarious. And you know, I apologize for the language, family. Sometimes I gotta handle that because people been itching, and sometimes they gotta scratch. Okay. Some people in here like, what are you talking about? I haven't seen that one. That's from the setting rant, okay? Look at all the ones in here. Y'all listen, I go off, but I want to give you guys a good show. That's why people come back. You know, we've been getting a little over 1,000 consistently, so that's great. I want people to have a good time. Did I say that? I'm sorry. I want people to have a good time so y'all come back. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Simply Complicated? Okay, we gotta get going. I was supposed to have a short show today. Okay, so thanks, Heartbreaker from the Bronx. For the super chat, I appreciate it. Shout out to the Bronx. Coco says, where do you think money came from for school in Marianne? Okay, so this is a great question. It's a critical question that everyone should be asking, including Umar's donors. Because remember, we did this one. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday Umar was lying about how he needed a couple of bucks as his bank accounts was frozen, right? And he said he didn't have any access to any money. So if that's the case, where does he come up with the money to pay Mary Ann Lorient $68,600 and then pay the past due bills of $38,388? Now, in all fairness, see, one can argue, well, that was he had the money, but because his bank accounts were frozen, he didn't have access to pay Mary Ann Lawrence the $68,600. Yeah, but Umar said that was his personal bank account. He also said he had another bank account. Allegedly, it was FDMG. So which one is it? And if it was your personal bank account that they're talking about fraud, or the potential for some sort of fraud, why would that matter? See, if it wasn't the FDMG bank account, then you should have the money to pay those past due bills. If it was the FDMG bank account and not your personal, then you shouldn't be asking for money. You got to see what I'm saying here? So it doesn't add up. Either way you look at it, even if you give Umar the benefit of the doubt, it still doesn't make any sense. Well, that's because his bank accounts weren't frozen. They weren't frozen. He made that lie up because he knew that those past due bills for FDMG in the amount of $38,208.22 was coming down the line. And then where he comes up with $68,600 to pay Mary Ann Lauren, I don't know. Maybe the people sent him money for the past due bills to save FDMG. We'll get into that today. And he just took some of that money. I don't know. Is it possible that they sent them, $100,000, close to $100,000 in a matter of a couple of weeks or about a month? Because he said that the bank account was frozen for about a month. It's possible. There ain't no telling, because Umar was framing this as help us save FDMG. And there maybe is it possible that there's $100,000 came in or more? Yeah, it's possible. All right. So again, these are critical questions that need to be asked. And if his bank records were ever audited, CashApp, we talked about this and all this other stuff. It's a personal bank account, FDMG bank account. They would be able to track, auditors would be able to track where this money an investigator would be able to track where this money came from and where it went, including the money to pay these past due bills of $38,388.22, and then the settlement to Mary Ann Lauren of $68,600, which leads me to believe that either Umar came up on about $100,000 because he didn't have any money, or that he did have some money, but he's trying to use this whole thing of the past due bills to save FDMG to get more money out of people, which I wouldn't put it past him. Either way, it's not a good look for Umar. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. Yeah, excellent question right here. Excellent question. Thank you, Kogo. Shout out to Kogo too. Appreciate you. U25 says, can we assume he done stuff with the plug? I can't. I'm not going to assume that. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to answer that, because I always want to be fair. I don't have any evidence of that. Is it possible? Yeah, but it's also possible that Umar has a job. Is it true? No. Okay, I go with the receipts. Anyway, thank you, U25. The CJ says Umar has no problem endangering other people's families because that's all he's done to his. You're absolutely right about that. I haven't thought about that, but you're right. You're right about that. See, respect, even in the streets, there's a code. Well, I shouldn't even say it that way. Amongst men, even if they're at odds, there's a code. Okay, you don't go after people's children, and you don't go after their wives. Right? Not Umar. Well, look at how he treated his baby mamas, who he claims wanted to marry him so bad, even though they wouldn't let him know where they stayed. Huh? These women want to marry you so bad, Umar. He always say that. Yeah, they want to marry me. And they want to marry me and have my babies. Have your babies. What in the room 130 you talking about? But if they want to marry you so bad, why was they were adamant about not letting you know where they lived? Anyway, Umar has a history of that, endangering his baby mamas, doxing his baby mamas, right? Putting out their personal information, talking about their place of business, and giving the baby mamas, grandmamas information, giving people their names, the school where one of his daughters went to, just being reckless and petty. It goes to show you he's not manly, because that's not what men do. You never go after another man's children, and you never go after another man's wife. That's even when people bring up his daughter. I don't like, because I could have had her on, because she had inboxed me on Facebook, but I'm not going to do that. No, that's beyond the scope. Okay. Now, as a journalist, would it have made sense? Yeah, but I'm a father in the first place. As a father, I wouldn't do that. Right? So Umar, he has a history of that. That's why he doesn't care to endanger anyone else's family, or someone else's wife, their children, because he doesn't care about his own children, and he don't care about having a wife. He don't care about none of that. That's a really good point right there. Thank you, CJ. Simply Complicated say, hey, Lenon, quick question chat. One old school term to describe Umar is he's a poser. Yeah. That's a term we used to use way back in the day. He is. As someone who fakes like he's one thing when he's really not, and he's trying to prove that he's one thing when he's really not. The set he ran in is an excellent example of Umar posing like he's some big time thug. so goofy. Ain't nothing street in Umar. He ain't got no street in him. He a punk. That's what he's back in the day. We call him punks. He's a punk. But he'll pose like he big time. Well, let's take this to the other extreme, because he always operating in the extreme. Umar, as a school psychologist, he's posing. He's a poser. You Umar Johnson followers, I want you to go online right now and go find me where Umar works as a school psychologist in 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, 19, 18, 17. And I'm just saying 17 to give Umar the benefit of the doubt. You can't do it. But he poses as if he's a school psychologist in 2026. He's a poser. He's this great black leader on par with Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass, and he's a poser. That's like the video we covered yesterday. Umar he has to put himself up there on that level. Yeah, well, I debated at Oxford too, and I'm on the level of Malcolm X. I'm on the wall with Malcolm. No, cut it out, Umar. Stop. He's a poser. See? Umar is the great deceiver of our time. What the deceivers do is they pose. All right. Anyway, thank you, Simply Complicated. Shay, how's it going? Says hit the 130, drop it, but no, I'm not going to drop it yet. Now I may drop it later, but I then pause. I may play it later. Shay trying to get me to drop it like it's hot. I'm not into that, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't get down like that, okay? All right. I may play it later, depending on what Umar say. If he gets to talking crazy, I'll play it, but not yet. Thank you, Shay. What's up, Sheree? Says cooking Umar like a pot of funky ham. Yeah. But you got to be honest, though, Brother Sharif. I'm fair with Umar, though. I'm fair with him. Okay, we clowning, but see, listen. If you go too far where you disrespecting a man on a particular level, you can't complain about it at a certain point. And see, Umar, he made a huge mistake. He thought he could punk me, and I'm not the one. Right? Yeah, I would think that at this point he probably regrets that he did that. But again, he does similar things in 2025, so he still ain't learned this lesson. So he gonna get this work. Okay. Thank you, Sharif, for shoot chat. Jay Civic says, how many parents would uplift their job, their house, to bring their kids to go to his school? His supporters are just cheerleaders. Yeah, they're enablers too. Okay? They're enablers. They've enabled all of this. I'm not saying that they're responsible for it, because Umar, he's responsible for it. He has to be held accountable. He's a grown man. But they've enabled this. And see, that's one of the ironies of this school scam. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense financially. It doesn't make sense logistically. So what do I mean by logistically? Logistics, because I used to work in logistics. That's dealing with getting something or someone or, from point A to point B. How do you get there in the most efficient amount of time, spending the least amount of money, and in some cases, gas, whatever. So different logistics. That's anything where you're transferring something. It could be a package or a person, whatever the case may be. Logistics. What's on site logistically in order to get a job done, if you want to look at it in terms of construction. Okay, so logistics. How do you get these supplies here from there to the supply line, so forth and so on? Logistically, it doesn't make any sense. Financially, it doesn't make any sense either. Let me go back to logistics, because Umar has told, and I have the audio where he talks about this. I only heard him talk about it 2, maybe 3 times, that the tuition cost is $500 a month. Who's going to pay? What parent would pay $500 a month to go to a school in the middle of the hood, and the school, as Umar has determined, it will not be accredited? Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense financially. It doesn't even make sense in terms of having rationally speaking, right? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't compute. Why would you pay $500 to send your child, and it's just part of it, to a school that's unaccredited and being ran by Umar, he's out there. He talks more about sex than he does about educating black boys. Real talk. This is the statement of fact. Umar talks more about sex and snow bunnies than he does about black boys and raising black boys and educating black boys or girls for that matter. It's illogical to think that someone would have to be illogical to think, okay, yeah, you're going to pay $500 to put your child in this type of a situation. But that's not all. Logistically, it doesn't make any sense. It's an impoverished community. Most people in that community ain't going to be able to pay. I would say overwhelmingly, most people in that community is not going to be able to pay $500 a month for their child to go to these fake funky schools if it ever opens up somehow, magically. Okay, we're just going with this though, right? Logistically, it doesn't make sense because Umar's collected money from people in Africa and in Australia, over in the UK. Shout out to the UK, because UK don't play. In South America, he's collected money, throughout the United States and Canada for FDMG. And there are people who think that they're going to send their children to these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, once they become a school, hypothetically, and that they're going to transport these children long distance in order to do that. Because Umar has proposed that they're going to have, I can't remember how many bus stops, 6 or 7 bus stops, something to that effect. Correct me if I'm wrong. And other states to travel to bring the children in to Wilmington. That's a logistic nightmare. Insurance, crossing state lines and all this other stuff. That's ridiculous. So the point that I'm getting at is that even from the vantage point of logic and reason, it's illogical and it's unreasonable. Logistically, it will not work. So the point is, the notion that parents are going to because Umar even told parents, you tying back what you're saying, we'll be done. Tying to what you're saying, he suggested that parents move to Wilmington, Delaware. And that was at least one woman who did. She had a special needs son, and they uprooted and moved to Wilmington, and she had been waiting for Umar to open up the school. One of the saddest videos I've ever seen dealing with this whole Umar Johnson saga. And Umar get the line to it right up there in the live. Anyway, it makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. But again, it's a pipe dream. It's a figment of the imagination. It's an illusion. These are statements of fact. That's why here we are in 2026, and Umar still hasn't educated one black child. Umar's never taught in a classroom. He's never been a teacher. When has Umar ever put together an event by himself, not with other people's help, but himself, to specifically educate black boys? I will wait. He's a poser. He tells people that he's doing all these things. He's working with all these black boys. No, he's not, because there will be evidence of that. See, just because someone says something doesn't mean that it's true. Where's the evidence? And not just evidence. The evidence has to prove any given claim. See, now when I say that Umar's raised at least $1.67 million, I can prove that without a shadow of a doubt. But if I, and that's giving Umar the benefit of the doubt. But if I go with his figure of $700,000, well, that's 300 more thousand that we have to add to that figure, because I was going with the $400,000 based on online records. This makes sense. So now we get it to $1.97 million. When I say that, it's a statement of fact. I can prove that with the IRS filings in Umar's own words. When I say that Umar raised $500,000 in 1 year and 3 months, starting in April or May, but we're going to go with April of 2014, I can pull up the receipt and show you where Umar states that in video format. Just because someone says something doesn't mean that it's true. You can believe the bullshit if you want to, but do your due diligence. If the receipts don't prove, because anyone can pull up something and say this means this and this proves, no, it doesn't mean that it proves anything. The receipts will prove. So in this case, let's be clear about this. When I say that Umar, there's a woman that moved up there because she thought that Umar was going to open up the school and she has a special needs son and he was going to specialize, right? Well, how do you know that? Well, that's what he said. He said specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorders. She moves up there in anticipation, because Umar was saying in 2019, in the February of 2019, but I can pull it up and play it. We're going to get into that though next month. We're going to do a whole show on that, probably do a mini marathon. We're going to cover that whole video. There's 3 videos that he released on that day. We'll cover all 3. When I say that she moved out there and she was having this conversation with Umar. One of the worst videos I've seen. It's just sad. It's really sad. See? Anyway, thank you, Jason, for the super chat. Sweet D says, Lene mentioned Umar having a sacrifice stand at his mom's house. Also, with this tie into the dead dogs at the Bandos, has this been discussed? No, I don't. Well, the dead dogs have been discussed. Family Tube talked about that. But I wouldn't correlate that to some sort of a sacrifice. I know this kind of gets dark, but some sort of a sacrificial type of thing. I wouldn't correlate to that. It's just that neighborhood and that community. Because remember, there was a time where Reverend Jerry Juice, that's his YouTube name. I don't know if he's still around anymore, but shout out to him. He lives in that era, and he went back there. He was walking behind the back of the back of the smaller building, what Umar calls a small school. And when he was walking back through there, you can tell it was like these big dogs. It was just, my dog, when it barks, it's like a real small dog. Chino, shout out to Chino. So his bark, there's one of them type of dogs. And you can tell it's quite a few of them back there. So it may be just one of those dogs back there died and no one ever cleared it up. So I wouldn't associate that. And I'm being fair with Umar. I wouldn't associate with Umar. But in terms of him having a sacrificial stand or something to that effect, I wouldn't be surprised by that because Umar, he's into that stuff. Right? It is what it is. All right. Thank you, Sweet D. And again, remember, Marianne Lauren talked about how when he came to Cleveland, he had this bag, like a man purse, room 130 style. Umar, you got some nerve. Listen, I'm the least gay person. You all going for me. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, no disrespect to people if that's what you into. No disrespect. Hit the one if you're gay. Okay. Someone's like, should I do it? I'm just playing with you. Marianne Lauren talked about how he had this little bag, a little purse. And I've seen him at other times where he carried his purse around. Because one time he was at his hotel room and he took it and he opened it up and then he dumped all this stuff out on the bed. It was just a gang of shit. Anybody remember that? Hit the 2, because I don't want you to hit the 1 and people say, oh, this person's not. No, hit the 2. He dumped it out, all kind of shit on the bed. Legos and Cracker Jacks, lotion, hand lotion, a bag of cookies, Skittles. I mean, all kind of shit just fell out the bag. Okay, so I knew what she was talking about when she mentioned it, but she said that when he came to the filming, he told her to hold his bag and not let anyone, because he was real protective of it. And she happened to open it up. There was a gun in there and some sort of a artifact, African artifact, and then a baggie that was filled with innards, like chicken guts or something. So that's what he's into, right? Okay, thanks, Sweet D. YouTube Defines says only job Umar Johnson has is one. All right. Estevar says he's back on Art of Dialogue. No questions on the school. I highly doubt that there's any questions on the school. What can he say at this point? When was the last time Umar gave a big time update on these abandoned buildings? And in the platforms they bring. See, Art of Dialogue is intelligent enough to know that Umar, this school scam it's a scam. He knows that. Same thing with DJ Envy and Charlemagne. They know that, but they don't care because he's going to bring a lot of views. Okay, they know that. So it's a financial thing. Okay, and that's how they roll. That's how they roll. But they're not going to ask questions about the school. And if they do, it's going to be softball questions. Listen, as an example, Esteban, let's say if I was on a Breakfast Club and I was one of the hosts and Umar comes up there and the school is brought up, because Umar, he's just going to have excuse after excuse. Well, I'll say, yeah, but you remember when you were on here, the first time you were on here, and this was in and around towards the end of 2015, the first time you was on here, you said that you had already raised $500,000. It's over a decade later, and there's still no school. That's what I was asking. See, even with the money that Umar raised back then of $500,000, that's enough to get something started, right? That's enough to get something started. Like I said, he could lease an office space with, I don't know, 4 different rooms, 5 different rooms, and one be his office. The other one's a counseling office, and the other 3 rooms, say 5 rooms, other 3 rooms are classrooms. Something real small, but start with $500,000. It's a proof of concept, but not Umar. That's the first thing I would ask you when it comes to that. How much money have you raised? It'll be a good question as well. How much did it cost to acquire these abandoned buildings? Exact figure. How much money have you raised to date? How much money have you spent? How much more money do you need? Why is it that you said that the school was going to open 2013, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and the school's still not open? So you're not going to ask hardball questions. How are you going to finance the operation aspect of this once these schools are supposedly renovated and at some point? How are you going to pay faculty and staff? Why is it that in 2023 you stated, sir, that the school was that the renovations were complete, and yet in 2025 you're saying that renovations, you're still working on renovations? And I go on and on. All right, thanks, Estevades. Yeah, and the thing is that he goes on those platforms. He's a chatty patty. He gets on there and he starts running his mouth talking about black people and talking poorly about black people. That's what he do. That's what he's known for. He's supposed to be a black leader. All he do is talk shit. He's a professional shit talker with no receipts to back anything up. The Kobe Bryant rant, when he was talking about Kobe was assassinated, where's the evidence of that? Because Mama y'all blew the phone off? As soon as I said to the NBA, the Mama y'all blew the phone off. What does that got to do? Now that's not the proof, but that's some damn good evidence. What are you talking about? Anyway, thanks, that's about it. What's up, Lewis Luck says he probably has an OnlyFans for his alternative audience. Listen, Umar said he was going to open OnlyFans one time. I'm not lying. I am not lying. He said he was going to open an OnlyFans. I don't know if he ever did or not, but he did say that. Anyone remember that? Hit the 5. I don't know. Just hit the 5. Some of y'all like, Lenon, now you're taking it too far. No, he did. He said he was going to have an OnlyFans. He'll have his back to the camera wearing chaps with the back pockets cut out. What? No, what are you talking about? And no draws. Type in promo code room. Promo code 130 to see more. Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to feel about that, Lewis. All right. Thanks, Lewis Luck. I need to clear my throat. I got some drink. I'm needing to have me something to drink. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Look at all these 5s in here. Yeah, I'm not making it up. That's what he said. He said he's gonna do only scams. What's up, East B? He sure did. He said he's gonna have OnlyFans. I said, Umar, you wild. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I needed something to drink. Okay. Okay, thanks, Lewis Luck. That's wild. How's it going, guys with Princess? Says powerful show, Lenore. Okay, all right, in other words, it ain't shit. Yeah, basically, it's somebody just powerful. That's too far. That's why when Lene, when she said that, I said, wait a minute. Because she was like, whenever Umar say powerful, that means he's not listening. And I thought about it, I said, wait a minute. That's true. Because I started thinking about all the times Umar goes, when someone talking to him, he said, well, powerful. He's not even paying attention. And it goes to like Umar, everything has to be about him at the end of the day. He don't care about nobody but himself. Yeah. Thanks, God, little princess. Thank you for your modding skills, too. I appreciate it. Okay, and then CJ says, do you think this whole thing was shady from the start or a well-intentioned endeavor that went very south very quickly? No, I think it was shady from the start. And this isn't the FDMG school scam, even though Umar conceptualizes this idea of FDMG in 2004. It's not as if in 2004 he's outright scamming to get money for this project that never came into fruition. Because even today, we can't say that FDMG has come into fruition. Because the goal was to open up a school for black boys and black girls. It's supposed to be a boarding school initially. So here we are in 2026. That hasn't materialized. It hasn't materialized as of yet. So I give Umar the benefit of the doubt. In 2004, it's not as if he's scamming with this FDMG school scam. It's just something that he conceptualized. But the conceptualization of FDMG, it's actually sourced out of the UNIA. Talk about this inside the documentary. You guys look at Umar Johnson's resignation letter with the UNIA from 2005. Umar talks about how one of the issues that he had with the UNIA, and it has to do with money, it's always dealing with money with Umar, was that he put together some sort of a proposal to renovate the second and third stories of the building that they would meet at, right there in Philadelphia. I think it's 1221, number 121. And the idea for Umar was that they were going to give him money to engage in this renovation project. But the story that Umar tells, which really doesn't make sense, is they sent them a check for, I don't know, 130, 160 bucks or something, some small, you can pull up, anyone wants to go look this up, you can type in Umar Johnson, UNIA resignation letter. I cover it extensively. Actually read the whole thing inside of the documentary. But you can type that in and it should populate. Why is this taking a long time? It's an older website. That's probably why. I fixed my internet, not to get off topic, but I fixed my internet connection speed yesterday. Let me do a quick test. Yeah, I'm at like 920 megabits per second, and upload speed is 36 megabits per second. So I'm good. But for some reason, it's not loading for me. Maybe it'll load for you guys. Let me change browsers real quick, and then we're gonna get into it. Yeah, still not coming up. So it must be something going on with the website. Anyway, well, I have it typed out though too. Let me just I'll pull it up inside of my notes for the documentary. Actually, I have it over here inside of these notes. Yeah, still not coming up for some reason. Yeah, the site can't be reached. So maybe the site's down now. But I have screenshots, so it's not going to make a difference. Let's see. Here it is right here. Resignation from UNIA, August 17, 2005. So he had already had these issues with money dealing with this renovation project. I have in here notes that Umar's main complaint was about money. Money, power, and control were three motivating factors. Furthermore, Umar Johnson refers to himself as a supreme workhorse, a title that speaks to his need to self-aggrandize. See, that behavior was taking place even back in 2005, making himself appear to be greater than what he was. So there was a budget that Umar claims to be approved for the division number 121. And he developed in an attempt to restore the second and third floors of the Thomas W. Harvey Hall. Despite the budget being approved, I was grudgingly given a check that was returned to me by my bank and marked NSF, which means insufficient funds. I was told by the customer service center that there was not enough funds in the divisional account, or someone named on the account chose to cancel the check. The check was for $328. It doesn't make sense. $328. How could we not have that money in our divisional coffers is beyond me. And then what I state is Umar Johnson is saying that a check in the amount of $328 did not clear due to either insufficient funds, excuse me, or the check was canceled. Is it reasonable for the United Division number 121 to give Umar Johnson a check in the amount of $328 for a renovation project encompassing the second and third floors of the Thomas W. Harvey Hall? What you gonna do with $328? Unless it was a lot more than that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't say that in the documentary, but something's not adding up. You're going to renovate the second and third stories with $328? Or is it possible that Umar was mismanaging funds somehow? That they gave him some money, he spent it on something else. Just like the people giving him millions of dollars for this FDMG school scam, and most of the money he spent on other stuff other than this so-called FDMG project. Something to think about. Was this the first and only check issued to Umar Johnson? Were there other checks issued to Umar Johnson? If so, what was the total amount of money that Umar Johnson was given for this renovation project? The point is that Umar Johnson's description of events is vague. And really, I should put it's vague at best. All right. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because Umar claims that he conceptualized FDMG in 2004. The resignation letters in 2005. The point is that he was already involved in a renovation type project where funds were an issue. And they were going to kick him out of the UNIA anyway. But Umar puts in his resignation letter and he just brings this up. So the point is that in my mind, this whole thing was shady from the start. Listen, Umar doesn't know how to go from point A to point Z, let alone he can't even go from point A to point B. See, he says he's going to do all these great things, but nothing ever comes into fruition. This is Umar's history is rife with this. Okay, he was going to open up a black vegan sports bar. It didn't happen. Okay, he was going to teach. He's going to have all these different conferences. None of that happened. Now he did throw 2 block parties, but remember he said he was going to throw a block party in 2019. It didn't happen. I think in 2020 it didn't happen. In 2021 it happened. In 2022 it happened. Something like that. But the point is that he's not consistently keeping up and fulfilling the promises that he makes to people, but he continues to collect money. Furthermore, those events, they were put together by black women, not by Umar. See, Umar doesn't have a track record even prior to 2005 of actually getting things done on that scale. So how does he come up with this idea that he's going to open up a school then for black boys? And in 2010, about 5 years after he allegedly conceptualized FDMG, he says that it's going to open September 11, 2013. He doesn't have a faculty. He doesn't have staff. He doesn't have any money. He's not even working. Think about it. He doesn't have a board of directors. He doesn't have nonprofit status. In 2010, so how is he going to make the announcement that the school will open September 11, 2013? It makes no sense. He doesn't have any teaching experience, minimum experience as a principal and vice principal, matter of months, 2-3 months. Listen, it was shady from the start. And then fast forward, as the school doesn't open September 11, 2013. But land was donated, according to Umar, and I can pull it up and show it to you guys. Land was donated to him in 2012 to open up FDMG in California, Riverside County. But then 2014, he starts talking about St. Paul's College. Well, what about the land that was donated? It doesn't make sense because it was shady from the start. And then over the course of 1 year and 3 months, he raises $500,000. From the spring of 2014, he raises $500,000. What he says on the Breakfast Club, he says $500,000. The first interview he did on there, and still nothing has come into fruition. A decade after that, with millions of dollars raised in addition to that $500,000 since. See, no, it was shady from the start. And see, the start is the scam that he was trying to run on the UNIA. See, that filters into this idea, notion of getting a building, and Umar says it inside of the UNIA letter. If you guys read it carefully, I covered this on the documentary. It just filters out of the UNIA, and then it filters into this idea of FDMG. And then over the years turn into decade. Here we now on real talk. It's been 2 decades, over 2 decades now since he conceptualizes. And listen, if Umar was serious about this, it wouldn't take him 2 decades to get something started. Furthermore, last point, was it a well-intentioned endeavor that went very south very quickly? It's hard to go south when you weren't north in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, it's not as if at any point any of this made sense. In all of my research dealing with Umar, specifically with FDMG, there's not one point that I can think of, and I'm a rational thinking person. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm not emotional. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm a very rational thinker. I'm a critical thinker. I'm not some big time smart guy. That's not it. I don't find this Umar Johnson saga to be necessarily intellectually challenging at all. But I'm a rational thinking person. And in all of my research of Umar, I can't think of one time where this idea and notion of having this FDMG project coming to fruition actually makes sense. Because you have to start at the root. And the root is that Umar, as a person, has no business being around children in the first place. Umar, as a so-called professional, he's not a professional. He has no experience even teaching children. Umar, as a man, he's bankrupt. And what I mean by that is ethically and morally, he's bankrupt. He's out here sexually exploiting these black women. Why would you want to send your child to someone like this? See, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense on so many different levels. And that's what I'm saying. The project couldn't go south, abruptly go south, if it was never on the up and up in the first place. It was never on the up and up. And Umar knows that. He knows that. He knows that today. But he still continues to ask for money for a school that still does not exist. Okay, I'll leave it right there. Thank you, CJ. And then Laurie says, do you think he's scamming alone, or is there a small team? I think at this point it's Umar mainly by himself. He has people, accomplice, like there was a time where Big Ann, she was part of this heavily. Yeah, Big Ann was part of this heavily. And there was a time Sharon's still around. So I would suspect, I'll put it that way, that she's still involved with the school scam and benefiting from it. That's the other thing I want people to understand, that Umar has no friends, no real friends, right? People latched on to him because they saw that the money was coming in. And one of those people was Sharon. Now, she was around, let me take that back. She was around before all this, okay, before the school scam really took off. But the point, she was around. Wait a minute now. When did Umar claim? When did he claim that? Okay, I'm not seeing the paper right here. But let me say this. Here it is right here. Let me see. Becomes a vice principal at a local charter school in 2006, but I thought it was 2017. No, I got it wrong. 2006. Okay. 2014. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do further. Let me take all that back for now, because I got to make sure that I have that right. I have to go and research this, because it's not coming to mind what that date was. So let me take that back for now. But anyway, she's benefited from it. There are a lot of people. You see, I'm being fair. Okay, I'm being fair even to her. I don't want to misrepresent the facts, and it's just not coming to mind exactly right now. But the point is that she's one of the people that attached herself to Umar, especially after he gets to the point where he's raising hundreds of thousands of dollars quickly, because he raised hundreds of thousands of dollars very quickly, starting in 2014. Like I said, in 1 year and 3 months, he was at $500,000. So there are a lot of people back then that were attaching themselves to Umar because the money was coming in. But see, at a certain point, there's something happens wherein he can't keep up with this facade of collecting money legitimately while dishing money out. And so there's a lot of people that begin to fall off. There's a lot of people that were around back then. And I'm not talking about the people that were coming in 2019, going up to the school. They were up to these abandoned buildings and they were rah Umar. That's what I'm talking. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Umar as someone who does not have friends and does not know how to engage people and have interpersonal relationships. He just doesn't have that in terms of his personality type. Money was one of the gravitational forces that allowed him to attract people to him. Now, were they real friends and true friends? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there was a lot of money that was in my opinion, was misdirected by Umar simply because it was a way for him to bring people closer to him, including women, right? That's one thing I have to say, then we got to get into it, that people thought, his followers believed that sending him money was the answer, but really what it did was it enabled Umar to engage in things and then have the financial wherewithal, which translates to power, right, in Umar's world, to bring people into his space and to engage in things that he couldn't afford to engage in prior, if y'all catch my drift. And that's in part why he's at why it is that he's where he's at in 2026. You would think that he would at least have his own vehicle or his own place. He doesn't even have that. Been homeless since 2019. Anyway, to answer your question directly, I think that at a time, there was a time where Umar was mismanaging the money and distributing it because it was coming in so quickly, and that those people could be considered a part of the scam. People like Big Ann, people like what's her name, Sharon, and even real talk, people like the brother that passed, rest in peace. Okay, not directly that they're scamming, but they're benefiting from the scam, right? But at this point, no, I think it's just Umar. I think he's burned so many bridges. The money hasn't come in like it used to. He can't be as free with it like he used to in terms of other people. I remember one time he was in Los Angeles and there's this woman. I wish I had the video. If anyone ever finds it, I'll cash up you $150. There was a woman and she just blurts out, "Yeah, he takes care of. He's been so kind, and he's giving me thousands of dollars. And I said, what do you mean giving you thousands? You could tell Umar was uncomfortable, and I was like, what's going on here? Umar ain't even from Cali, from LA. Why are you giving these women thousands of dollars for what? And you said Umar was uncomfortable. Anybody ever remember that? Hit the wall. It was crazy. So I think at a certain point the money just wasn't coming in like now. It's not coming in like it used to. And a lot of those people who were benefiting off of the scam, they're not around. So I think at this point, because he's burned so many bridges, the money's not there. He's right back to where he's at. It's just him and his mama. Real talk. Yeah. I wish I had that video. There's quite a few videos that I wish I had, but I never got a hold of. But that's life. That's life. Okay. Yeah, Manny. And no disrespect to Manny. Rest in peace, because he's passed away, but he benefited too. And I'll leave it right there out of respect. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get going here. And that document never came up, so it may not be online anymore. But I have it archived. I have all the screenshots. All right. And I'm referring to Umar Johnson's 2005 resignation letter. Okay. So let's get going here. What I liked, and I was going to do a short show, but you know what? I don't think I'm just going to take my time. What do y'all think? You take my time? Y'all let me know. I'll take my time. Why not? You know what I mean? How's it going, Ms. Vertica? Says, excellent video, Lenon. You are appreciated for exposing the truth about Scumbag Tunde, and you do it in such a professional manner. Yeah, I try to, the comedy thing wasn't as pervasive as it is these days, but I can't blame myself. I mean, part of it, yeah, because I have a good time too. That's one of the reasons I enjoy hanging out with you guys, because it's good for me. It really is. I have a lot of stressors in my life with my job, with my family, a lot of stressors. So whenever I get a chance to hang out with you guys, it helps. So that's why I enjoy getting with you guys. Even if we weren't talking about Umar and we just got together, just chopped it up, just hung out, it helps me tremendously. So thank you, Cook Crush Chat's undefeated. But I can't. The thing is, I try to maintain a level of professionalism. But the other thing is, I want people to enjoy so that people will come back. But I can't credit myself in terms of the entertainment value, because that really comes out of the Cookie Crush Chat. Let me guys remember when I first started, it wasn't. I mean, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, but it wasn't the thing. You know what I'm saying? The Cookie Crush Chat's undefeated now. Right, so it's a totally different thing, and the Cook Crush Chat, a lot of humor in there, and Big Man had a huge part to play. That's why last time he was in here, I gave him props, because he really he set it off. Like, he unlocked the comedy in the Cook Crush Chat and comedy in myself. So I'm really thankful for that, because the entertainment value is important to keep people coming back. There's people have been doing Umar Johnson videos for a long time, but they were unable to get real traction, and it can't just be humor, it can't just be jokes, but it can't just be like the strict, bland professionalism either. You have to provide entertainment value. Okay, but fundamentally, I try to conduct myself in a professional manner, especially when it comes to the receipts. When we goof off, we having a good time. That's what we do. But when it comes to the receipts, stuff like timeline, documentary, being precise, also being fair, I'm professional with. The same thing, like I was going to make these statements about Sharon, but then I said, wait a minute, let me take that back, right? There's been times, real quick, then we're going to get to it. There's been times where I've made a statement while we're doing the live stream, and then someone checks me on it, but I don't see their comment until after the live stream. They say, no, that's inaccurate. And then I'll come back on the next live stream, and I apologize, I issue a retraction, and I explain what I said, the stated that was an error. That's what I mean by the professional. That ties into the journalistic aspect of this. But there has to be entertainment value, and I'm thankful for the Cook Crush Chat and everyone who's participated in that, because it's enjoyable. Okay, and it should be. Okay, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it, Miss Vernica. Thank you for the super chat as well. Right. All right, Cook Chat's undefeated. I think I'm all cut up here inside of the chat room with the super chats. Thank you guys so much, everyone who sent in the super chats. I appreciate. Thank you so much. And listen, I really do appreciate that. You know, I appreciate because there's been times where I say, listen, I'm tired of this, and it's not having the part about having a good time, but it's everything else that comes with it. You know, there's stuff that my wife has had to deal with. There's stuff that my children have had to deal with because I've covered Umar. Pause. I've what's another word I could use for that? Now with the room 130, I got to be careful. For me to I don't know what the word is, but y'all get my point. So when people say good show or we appreciate it, I really appreciate y'all doing that. Okay. Sometimes it's the little things, you know what I mean? Everybody was like, I don't know what you can say on that one. What's up, Sequoia? Everyone in the chat would say, yeah, I don't know what you can say other than that. Yeah, as long as it's not, I'm in it. Yeah. Well, listen, where I come from, we would say something similar to that. So that's not even it. Okay, that's more like, listen, I'm gonna whoop your ass, that kind of thing, right? But when Umar says it, especially after the room 130, I'm sorry, I can't. So what happened in the room? Let me explain y'all what happened in the room. We'll try to get away to talk about it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, reporting on. Thank you. Report. Powerful. Boy, that room 130 done messed up the whole thing. You gotta be careful what you say about Umar now. I went up and asked him about room 130 on the Breakfast Club or on what you call it, on art. Like, what about room 130, brother? Wait a minute now. We're down to room 130. Well, let me tell you. So this no, we have to stay focused, family. We have to stay focused. Okay. So I want to play this video right here. Boy, you guys are a mess. All right, but that's why I love y'all. Let me check this poll right quick. 852 votes so far. Were you surprised that Umar Johnson almost lost the Bandos in 2025? 11% said yes. 89% said no. Okay, make sure you get your vote in. The likes, our goal today is 500 because I'm just go ahead and take my time. We're at 323, so we should get it. If you're enjoying the show at any point, make sure you hit that like button. All right. Miranda says, hi, Leonard Cook Chat. I appreciate the entertainment piece as well as the commentary you provide. Cook Chat is undefeated and brings joy to a lot of people. Yeah. There's been times where there's been people who they've expressed like they were going through something, you know, and we all do. I go through stuff too. Okay, don't get it twisted. I go through stuff. It's just when I get on here, I gotta, you know, the show must go on. But the thing is that the way that the Cook Chat is, it brings me a lot of joy. I laugh a lot, you know, and it's like therapy. You know, it really is. So there's people that they've talked about that, how Cook Chat helped them to get through some difficult times, COVID even, you know, and there's people, they're not around like they used to be, but they were here for as long as they needed to be. And maybe one day they will come back, but they benefited some way. That's why they were here. And that's what it's all about. That's like the transformative aspect of this. It's not just about Umar in a sense. It's also about, you know, people having a good time, the entertainment value, and then they can take away from the Cook Chat something that you know allows them to live a happier life. And we have a good time in here. Okay. Shout out to Cook Chat. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. All right. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Oh, and then thank you, Miranda. Also, she says the community wit and fellowship of the Cook Chat is everything Umar and conscious community wishes they had. Yes, that's a good point. The truth is, though, I haven't seen many chat rooms like this, and I've been on YouTube a very long time. I haven't seen it. Are there other chat rooms like this? Yes, I'm sure there are. There's probably chat rooms who get a whole lot more people, and it's a lot of fun. But it's amazing to me that Umar hasn't galvanized his following, because he has, you know, just on his Instagram page alone, over 1 million followers. He hasn't galvanized that into something where consistently people will show up and actually have a good time. You know, part of the reason why is because Umar, he's such a negative and toxic person. That's the one thing that also gets mixed. Well, I think a lot of people are they're aware of it, but he's an extremely toxic person. He is. Wherever he goes, chaos goes. You know, look at everything that happened in 2025, and look at what the women who've dealt with Umar, whether it's professionally or intimately, look at what they describe in terms of their interactions with Umar and the chaos that he brought into their lives. You know, there's this video of this woman, and I remember when she first did the video. I should play it for you guys, but I may show it in the documentary. When I first heard it, I said I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe what she was saying about Umar. And there's another one where this lady calls into this radio show and she alleged that Umar essayed her. And back then I was like, okay, yeah, I can't verify that. Is it possible? I don't think so, because I didn't think, because I didn't have enough research dealing with Umar. So I just kind of dismissed all that stuff. But now, after him being exposed in 2025 by his daughter, Sister Marianne Lauren, and by Sister Lene, and by his nephew, it's totally believable, right? I'm not sure if I'm going to include those the ones of video, the other ones audio, if I'm going to include that in the documentary. I really should. It's just that you would think that Umar, he would have been able to build something with all of his followers that, like what we have here, just on a bigger scale, because he has a whole lot more followers. But part of the problem is that he's an extremely toxic person. And wherever he goes, he creates chaos. And that filters into his Instagram page. Yeah. Thank you, CJ. Yeah. Okay, am I caught up here now? Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. I appreciate. I don't mean to be dismissive, but we have a show. I prepared a show for everyone. If you guys are interested in that, thank you, CJ. Miranda says, "Hey, Lenon Cook, I appreciate entertainment." Okay, I got that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, and then what's up, Black Wolf? Shout out to Black Wolf. Black Wolf been around from like the beginning, early days. So thank you so much, Black Wolf. Much respect to you. Black Wolf says, "What's up, Cook Rashad and Lenon? When you first started with Umar vids, I listened to them when I did overnights, and yeah, you were serious at first till we started cutting up. Yeah, that's how it happened, and I'm cool with it. I'm totally cool with it. There were times where the show would get taken over, like kind of like right now. The Cook Rashad would just take the show over, and I have a whole thing. I kid you not, I got 5 image files to look at, and I pulled up. Outside the intro video, I have 4 videos that we're supposed to get into today. It's not gonna happen. Okay. But that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, back then it was I think it was too serious. It really was. And there was some research there, but not like the research base that I have now. And I now I think about, I kind of feel bad, because if I had the research that I have now and I listened to what those women were saying back then, I would have I probably would have reported on it. I probably would have reported on it. But back then I didn't know enough about Umar, and I just couldn't. Not that it was unbelievable, but what they were expressing, I was like, what? But now it's like, yeah, they I believe them, right? Yeah, it's sad. Anyway, those were those early days, and back then we didn't have super chats, and I wasn't monetized. Yeah, for quite some time, I wasn't making any money doing Umar videos. But the Cook Rashad Undefeated, you guys have blessed me so much, and I didn't even have to ask for it. In fact, the Cook Rashad the people in the Cook Rashad said, no, you don't monetize. And I always got to give him respect, because he's passed away. Brother Marion, he's the one that crunched the numbers for me. And he was absolutely right with what he told me. And rest in peace to him. Yeah. Thank you, Black Wolf, and thanks for hanging in there with me for all these years, and even when I struggled and so forth. I really do appreciate it. Life, it's a challenge for all of us. I'm just grateful that we're where we're at here. My family and I, where we're at in 2026, and by no means are we where I would like to be, but I'm still working hard every single day, and I'm thankful that you guys are still here with me on this journey and hanging out in the Cook Rashad. Okay, thanks, Black Wolf, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yep. And then Simply Complicated gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that. And whoever received those memberships, make sure you thank Simply Complicated. All right, we appreciate it. All right. All right, and then again, I'll have the next segment of the documentary available for members. I want to say tomorrow, but let's do Thursday, and we'll just live stream Thursday, and we'll get through that segment. And then I'm thinking at some point, I'll stop with the production part, and I'll go back through all the different segments and put them all in an order, and then edit things down to where it's closer to being like a finalized version. And then we'll sit down. I mean, that'd probably be like a 4-hour live stream as for members only, and we'll go through the whole thing, right? At least up until because we're going to be getting all the way through 2014, right? Yeah, or 2010. I can't remember what it was. Where are my other notes at? Anyway, I'm confused. Oh no, this is it right here. Yeah, we're going through. We would be going from 1974 in the Umar Johnson saga through 2010. That's when I put everything together. All right. Anyway, okay. Thank you, Simply Complicated. User 225 says we need a User 225 derails Lenon compilation. Yeah. You're right about that. Thank you, User 225. And then Mr. I don't give a shizzle says show was taken over by those bean eating bear huggers. Yeah, I remember that. I can't remember who said that time. I was so confused. What in the world is a bean eating bear hugger? And then someone explained me. I can't explain it to me. I can't even remember what the explanation was. Yeah, but that's how it goes. Like today's show's an hour and 30 minutes has been taken over with, but it's all good. We got 1,000 people up in here, so I'm thankful for that. And we got 350 likes. So if you haven't hit that like button and you're enjoying the show, even though we haven't officially started, go on and hit that like button because it helps to get this out into the algorithm. Let me get some hearts too in here inside of the chat room. That's a feature they need to add on StreamYard. Two features they should definitely add, and I've sent them support tickets. It's not a support, a suggestion. Is they should make it possible. Let's say, Mr. I don't give a shizzle. If I wanted to bring you on and only you, that we're out on my end, I can click on the screen here where your name is at for StreamYard. Click on it, and it gives you an option to send you a link to actually come up onto the show, right? And even if you don't come onto the show, you can come into the chat room because there's a back end. If pause, here we go. There's a secondary chat when people come on room 130. You got to be careful. So that's one thing that they should do, but then also they should allow me to comment and heart super chats in here as opposed to on YouTube. And then also it should give me the ability to be able to see people's super stickers. You can't see any of that up here on this end. Anyway, I'm always thinking about that from an IT perspective, those types of improvements. Okay, thank you. And they also need to provide an option for us to play MP3 files directly from the platform as opposed to putting it into a browser and playing it that way. But anyway, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And then Contavet says, I do look forward to Lenon and the Cook Crush chat, to the Lenon and the Cook Crush chat community. Y'all are a hot mess and I love it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun in here. It really is. And I enjoy it. And sometimes there's people I haven't seen in a while and I see them, I get happy. Like I ain't seen 100% real man in a while. You probably been out there, I don't know, walking the horses. I don't know if they ride them or walk them, whatever y'all do down there. What's up, man? So it's fantastic. We have a good time in here, and the Cook Crush that's undefeated, and I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for that. Yeah. Thank you, Captavet, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get into it now for sure. All right. I know I've been saying that for about a month. So I want to go back to it's a short video, and this is right before the munition pops off, where Umar, he's given an update on these abandoned buildings. This is from August 4th of 2025. Here we go.
Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Africanism.
Many of you guys
Pan
remember
Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade. We trying to get these colors right for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG. Got to get the flooring right. Yes, brothers and sisters, the accounts might be frozen, but we are chosen, and we.
Them accounts wasn't frozen. Cut out. No, I didn't name it officially. Someone named it, and then I said, "Let's go with it." So I don't remember who it was, but somebody I can't remember. Someone said, "Hey, whose birthday is it? Is it someone's birthday?" People are saying that it's okay, you're right. Okay. Is it your birthday? Oh, okay. Well, let's sing happy birthday to 100% real man. Okay, we're gonna sing the country version. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, 100 real man. Happy birthday to you. I don't know. Hey. Yeah, congratulations, sir. Happy birthday to you. Let's give the birthday wishes to 100% real, man. All right. All right. All right. I don't know if that was a country version, but I did my best. It's the Texas version, I guess. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Must continue. The accounts might be chosen. The accounts might be frozen, but we are chosen. We must continue with the mission. Rain, sleet, snow, or hail. We must continue with the mission, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes. We must continue with the mission. We must not.
You see all this filth? That's why I never took Umar seriously after he purchased these trap bandos, because why would you get online?
The mission.
And this is after what? 6 years, 6.5 years at this video, a little over 6.5 years of since he acquired these abandoned buildings and show countertops looking like this.
Brothers and sisters. Oh,
come on now, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's so ridiculous.
We must continue with the mission. We must not quit, my brothers. Which one of them greens? Which one of them greens match the wall, brothers and sisters? I said, which one of them greens match the wall?
Umar love playing these little games about picking colors, don't he?
Wall. Is it the kiwi? Is it the lime zest, brothers and sisters?
Oh man, I'm so tempted, but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Let me cue it up though, just in case.
Is it the kiwi or is it the lime zest? Which one of those tiles match the floor, brothers and sisters?
You better watch your mouth.
Let's get it done.
I'm so petty.
It's time to stop playing games. Let's finish what we started. Let's finish what we started. The FDMG Academy for Pan African excellence. Brothers and sisters. Which one of those blues match the wall, brothers and sisters? We got to choose some tile. We got to choose which blue matches the wall, brothers and sisters? I need y'all to help me out. I need y'all to help me out. Which blue is matching the wall? Help me out, brothers and sisters. Which blue is matching the wall? Which tile? This is for the floor tile. Which blue? You want the dark blue, the baby blue, the medium blue, the coon blue, the Negropean blue, the African blue, the Neanderthal blue? Which blue matches the wall, brothers and sisters? We must finish them. Stay focused. We must stay focused. Okay.
You guys are mean. Why are you guys so mean to this man? This guy. I gotta say guy. You guys so mean to this guy. He said blue. It's a blue. All right. What's up, Maddie? Yeah, I guess, you know. Well, somebody said red roof in red. Joshua, don't do him like that. Let me get up. Zesty blue. Zest. I don't mean to laugh. That's not funny. I ain't laughing at that. That's not funny. Umar loves saying zest. He don't say zest. He say zest. I'm sorry. That's extremely petty on my part. I apologize. Zest feast bleed. All right. Let's go. Boy, that room 130 done took it out, didn't it? All right, let's go.
Which yellow matches the wall? Which yellow matches the wall, brothers and sisters? Y'all want that lemon lick or that lemon yellow? We can't go orange.
Here we go. Here you go. Here you go. Where did you get these colors from, Umar? Wasn't a P. Diddy? P. Diddy got a paint shop or something?
Do y'all want that lemon lick or that lemon yellow? That lemon lick or that lemon yellow, brothers and sisters?
This is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, he just said lemon. Let's pause on that. But
We must finish the mission.
Here we go. Yeah, Dr. Say.
Let's match up the Teacher's Lounge, brothers and sisters.
What's up,
the Teacher's Lounge.
Okay, let's get focused.
What colors for the Teacher's Lounge, brothers and sisters? What colors
this place is
for the Teacher's Lounge, brothers and sisters? What colors for the Teacher's Lounge, brothers and sisters? Don't go with the lemon yellow. Don't go with the lemon yellow, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, these buildings, I mean, it's amazing that he's, after all these years, like a horror movie.
Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. We got to raise the money and pay for the tile in the cove base.
Here you go.
In the cove base, brothers and sisters. We got the...
Yeah, this guy, he don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? You trying to open up a can of Pringles or what? Why is he doing all this? This guy, what are you trying to open up? A can of sardines or what? There you go. See, these shit's been sitting in here for who knows how long.
I could be on YouTube making videos.
Here he go.
I could be on YouTube making videos, but I'd rather build an institution.
You're not building anything. You're just sitting up here like a little Sally Mae. I'm serious. This right here, it's not manly, Umar. You're sitting up here inside these abandoned buildings with these little trinkets in your hand and talk about what color you're going to paint, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. It's ridiculous.
I could be on YouTube making videos, but I'd rather build an institution, brothers and sisters.
All right, I'll let you.
I could be on YouTube making...
Look at this. It's like a little child. Look what I have. Look what I have. Put your little bracelets on. Cut it out.
Videos, but I'd rather build an institution. Where are my Ifatunde Africans at? Where are my unapologetically African alpha males? Where are my...
Yeah, don't say nothing about alpha males. Room 130. Cut it out.
5'5", thick in the thighs, all natural, head to toe. Beautiful African sisters, my continental queens, Caribbean queens, European, Asian, Canadian, Australian, South Pacific queens. My Jersey, my Florida, my Mississippi, my Philly, my Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, my Tennessee, my Omaha, my Nashville, my Knoxville, my Memphis Queens, my San Diego, my Oakland, my San Fran, my LA, my Dayton, my Little Rock.
Yeah, you know about rocks. Don't say nothing about Diego. Okay, don't mention my hometown. Shout out to Diego. Eastside Peru.
My Jackson, Mississippi queens.
There you go. That's that plug called him.
Oh, we gonna cross that finish line. We're gonna cross that finish line. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit the PayPal.
Okay, so this is 4 days before the munitions comes down, and so that's what we're gonna get into next. Okay. Also, thanks again, Content for the super chat. I appreciate it. CJ says, "Umar looks like a whole sleep paralysis." Yelling at you while you kind of sleep, but you're not. Thank you, CJ. Blackwood says, "Umar want that broke back blue." All right. Thank you. Shawnee said it, says, "Why are the walls lime green anyway? That color is so distracting." Yeah, I know. And you would never paint. He has a room that's all red. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't put a child inside a room where the walls are all red. You wouldn't do that. And then the lime green, that's like the chroma key green. I don't know what he's thinking. I never understood that. The best thing, it's not even an excuse, because you wouldn't do that. If you are a real educator, you wouldn't put a child in an environment like that, period. But the best excuse that Umar, I don't want to say I'm making for Umar, but the only way that I can explain it is that Umar wants the colors to be they need to correlate to the different Orishas and Ifa, because they each have different color, right? Or colors. So if you guys look at the small gem, when he painted that, it's looking all crazy, all different types of colors. Well, those different colors for each one of those, it's like little pyramids. Each one of the colors in those pyramids, that's for a particular Orisha or deity, if you will. So I think what Umar, what he's attempting to do is to take those color schemes and then apply that to the classrooms too, even though it looked horrible inside the gym. That's what I'm saying. Something's not right with this guy. He's not an educator, because the educator, they know that even within the color scheme within the classroom, it can't be to the distracting or I don't know what the word is, overstimulating to a child or depressing to the child. But Umar, he's not even considering all that. That's what I mean by from the beginning. Umar, he never knew what he was doing. It was just about trying to figure out a way to get money out of people. And I'm gonna tell y'all, if and when this FDMG school scam ends in Wilmington, Delaware, Umar would just move it to someplace else, because it's been his main source of income for over a decade now. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Lime green. Yeah, no one does that. No true professional, no school board's going to approve anything like that. But Umar, he's a one-man show. He don't know what he's doing. Thank you, Shawnee. How's it going? Kiara Cross says, "Show and tell Tunde." Yeah. Sometimes Umar be saying stuff, and now you guys have to reassess it now because of the Room 130 situation. You have to reassess stuff. Like I said, there was a time, I hate to even bring it up again, but he was talking, and he said something like, "Yeah, some of y'all be dealing with those dashiki dingling queens." And I said, what does that mean? And why are you thinking like that? So again, he be self-exposing a lot. That's Umar. Thanks, Carl, for the super chat. Appreciate it. It looked like you got a tat. You got a tat? Yeah, I have a whole lot of body art. A whole lot. All on my back. Hug life on my chest. I'm serious. I got all kind of body art. It's not tattoos, it's body art. Right? All right. Thank you, Kiara. You think to myself, why he look like the yellow M&M? Yeah, he do look like, don't he? Thank you. Shay says, "Can we get the song at 400 likes?" We already have 400 likes. If we get to 500, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it if we get to 500. If we have 403, we got 1,050 people watching. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shay, for being a member for 4 months. How's it going, Kidwana? Kidwana says he has no ability to prioritize what is needed to open a school. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Again, you're an expert in this. I'm not an expert on this, but I have at least some basic common sense. Right. The first thing that Umar should have done, which he's finally doing, he started to do in 2025, is secure the buildings with fencing. First thing he should have done. Because it's not just opening a school. In this case, it's renovating abandoned buildings. See, that's what I'm saying. it doesn't even make sense in terms of if you prioritize opening up a school. Let's just say opening up a school. You're not going to invest $700,000, around $700,000, according to Umar, into a building that needs millions of dollars of work. And according to Umar, when he pays that $700,000, he doesn't have much money left over. In point of fact, he doesn't have any money left over. So why would you take that money that you do have and purchase these abandoned buildings? Because now you add an extra step. Now you have to renovate these buildings, get them up to code, have them pass inspection, and then now you get to start the process of looking at faculty and staff and so forth. And truth be told, if he had a plan where things are prioritized, even if he starts with the renovation process, somewhere along the way, he's also going to be working towards getting faculty and staff lined up for the school year when it actually opens. But Umar hasn't done that. He just changes the date over and over and over again. But just based upon his decision to out of all buildings, he settles on these trap Bandos in Wilmington. It gives him more, and really it worked to his advantage because it gives him at least at this point 6 years and 11 months and 1 week extra time to extend this scam. But why didn't, if priority was to open up a school, why didn't he actually get a building or rent out a space that was move-in ready, and he could have started there? But even beyond that, okay, because Umar's situation, you got to deal with the reality. He has his abandoned buildings. You would think that he would have a month by month, week by week, day by day plan of action, starting from point A, going all the way to point Z to get renovations complete. But in order to do that, you have to prioritize. You have to strategize too. Umar hasn't done either of those things. There's no prioritization. He just does whatever he can, whenever he can. There's no organization, right? There's no solidified plan of getting from point A to point Z. And Umar, in terms of mentally, he's not equipped to do something like that anyway, okay? We can also just look at in terms of experience. He doesn't know how to go from point A to point B. Umar will say, I was a principal at a school, but that doesn't mean that he's opened up a school from the ground up. That doesn't mean that he's renovated a building, even if it's a school or not. He's thoroughly ill-equipped to handle any of this stuff at this point. Not even just at this point, but from the beginning, thoroughly ill-equipped. Anyway, the word that comes to mind is he's incompetent. That's what it is. Yep. Thanks, Get One for the super chat. Like Mario says, he's gonna mess around and get somebody a seizure with all them colors. That's what I was referring to earlier. Overstimulating children because of the color scheme, and there are also children who they're sensitive to certain colors, like those bright types of colors like that. They're sensitive, but he ain't thinking about that. They're special needs children. He's supposed to be specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorders, right? So you have a child that has a disruptive behavior disorder, and you're gonna put him in a room where the walls are all red. Or lime green. Dude, what's the goal here? Real quick, if any of y'all got kids and you went up to your kid's school, and let's say you had a parent-teacher conference, and you walked into the parent-teacher conference and the whole wall, all the walls are painted red, blood red, what you gonna say? You know what I'm saying? Or the lime green is painted lime. What you gonna say to that? It's nuts. All right, thanks, Black Mario. They have the Caesar warnings and everything on the posted on the wall. All right, thanks for that. D-Will says he complained about people on YouTube making videos while he's online making nonsensical videos, making sense. Yeah, Umar, he spends more time on social media than any of his critics do. Well, I don't know that to be a statement of fact, because I don't know. I haven't watched all of his critics. I think it's fair to say that he spends more time on social media than I do. Okay, because he's posting throughout the day, every single day. I get up here on YouTube. We have a good time too, but I get up here on YouTube when I can. Yeah, that's just Umar's way of trying to make it seem as if the people who are criticizing him online, that they're only doing it because they don't have anything else to do, but he's building and he's working. No, He's not working professionally, and clearly he's not getting work done at these abandoned buildings to any efficient degree, because you would think that after six years and 11 months in 1 week, he would be further along in this process of renovation, right? That's a long time, y'all. That's a really long time. And not one black child has been educated yet. But that's just his way to make it seem like, to discredit his critics. I'm going to tell y'all something. Umar, he can't discredit me when it comes to FDMG, because I deal with the facts and the receipts, and I don't make shit up about him. It's not necessary. If I speculate, I say I speculate, or I think. See? And that's the right thing to do, in all fairness. But when I say something as a statement of fact, it's a statement of fact, and I can prove it without a shadow of a doubt. Most of it is just playing videos. I can pull up a video and say, you know, he said this here, he said this here, but what about this when he said this here? And I can put up and play it for you guys. So he can't dispute any of my claims about him in terms of the FDMG school scam. He would never debate me on it either. He wouldn't. He's welcome to come up here right now. He's probably watching right now. You're welcome to come up right now if you want to. Or if you want to do it at another time, okay, you're welcome. You can come on up here. And I won't disparage you or anything like that. I'll deal with you like a little boy, real talk. Let me stop. Like the little boy that you are. And I will put you in your place. And it wouldn't be emotion based either. Pure intellect and receipts. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Umar, you can't fuck with me on that. Pause. You got to be careful what you say with this guy, because he's taking it the wrong way now. All right, thanks, D. Will. Tim the Complicated said there is actually a psychology behind choosing wall colors for different settings. Yeah, even restaurants follow this. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And Umar's color scheme, I should pull it up. The color scheme in the gym, it's reflective of like his mind. It's just, you can tell he's so disjointed. He's just out there. It's the color. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. And the same thing with these abandoned buildings. When he walks through there, it's like different classrooms, different colors. You know, he's supposed to be a psychologist. Shouldn't he know that? He's supposed to be a school psychologist. Shouldn't he know that too? What color? We've seen black room painted all black, all red blood, blood red, chroma. It's not even lime. That's chroma key, because I know that's chroma key green, chroma key cream green. One is brown. I actually like the brown color. I just think it's too dark. You know what I'm saying? I think it's too dark for a child to be sitting in some shit like. Just being honest with you. There's a couple other colors too. Yeah. Anyway, restaurants follow this. Schools follow this. Even prisons. Stores, they have color schemes too, you know. And I'm not just talking about the branding part. Like you go to Target, they have their branding too, but they I mean, how they paint the walls, they're very careful about all that, because there's a psychology about that. And you don't put a child inside of an environment where the color scheme is putting them, it's like sensory overload, or it's making them feel insecure or uncomfortable, or they start to feel anxiety because you're in a room where the walls are painted red, blood red. That's crazy. He's supposed to be a psychologist. Just goes to show you how inept he is. He really is. Thank you, Simply Complicated, for a super chat. And then Sasha Love says, Mama, I made it. This is my 2nd year anniversary of being in the Cooking Crunch chat. Well, thank you so much, Sasha Love. The 24 months. You've been a member for 24 months. Thank you so much, Sasha Love. I appreciate you. Okay. Yeah, hospitals too. Yep, hospitals. Yeah. Or they make them feel boxed in and make them feel have anxiety. Yeah, greedy green. He said, we paid this because we want the money. We need your money, family. Okay, so that was the Umar gives a bit of a tour of these trap bandos, and he's doing a whole paint scheme thing again, which he's done many times before. And that was August 4th of 2025. And then 4 days later, that's when I break the story about the munition that comes down. This is the city of Wilmington, and they're letting Umar know that if he doesn't pay these past due bills, that they will sell these properties at sheriff's sale. Excuse me. And these were posted on the door of each building. So there's two different ones. There's two different munitions. The case numbers are different This is the one that I received, and I received it on that day where I reported on it. We went live with it, and it tells Umar that he has 21 days or 20 days from the time of this notice to make payment. Otherwise, they're going to escalate this and sell these trap bandos both sides of the street, in point of fact, at sheriff's sale. And some of the charges on here, there was a water and sewer charges of $1,854.17. Exterior improvement charges, $156.60. Vacant registration fees of $15,500. Okay, all this is wasted money too. This is all wasted money. Because not one black child has been educated. Civil penalty charges, $300. And the total for this one came out to $17,810.77. However, the total for both sides of the street came out to $38,388.22. That's what I mean by Umar completely inept. He doesn't know what he's doing, because you don't sit on a property for 6 years. It's about to be 7 years in about 3 weeks. You don't purchase these trap bandos and let them sit and collect all these different bills. These are some of them. Okay, but you collect all these different bills and not one child is being educated, and the buildings they're in disrepair, right? He hasn't kept, because there's upkeep. He hasn't kept them up. In fact, they look worse now than they did when he purchased them, and I can prove that. I can pull up the video evidence to show that to people. So all of this money, the total $38,188.22, this is wasted money because it serves no purpose. Ultimately, what Umar is doing is he's taking donation money from mainly black followers here in the United States of America and giving it right back to who he calls the white man, the government. See this? So, and I break this story. There's other pages too that's listed here. We won't get into all of that. And it starts up a firestorm because there's a lot of people that start talking about it. In fact, not only were people talking about it, there's this one brother. Where is it at? No, I still have it up here. Did I take it down? Let me see. 8/12. Okay, this is from 8/8. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me just see if I can pull this other receipt up here. And I have it in this folder here. And yeah, here it is right here. So there's a brother who, in fact, let me go ahead and pull up the video too, and I can play it. Yeah, here it is right here. So this is 8:50. Okay, so this is after in the timeline. So let's go to the first video that Umar does after I break the story, because the ammunition comes out August 8th. So now we're going to go to August 12th of 2025. Okay. Real quick, let me do these super chats just so that, because it's going to take a while. If the school did open and he had those wild colors up in the bandos, the kids would turn all the way up in bandos. Yeah, definitely overstimulating. Yeah, they would. They would. Again, I could pull up a video where he shows each room, but most of you guys have seen that already. I think Umar, the idea for him was that he wanted the color scheme inside of the small building to kind of match the color scheme inside the gym. But the problem is the color scheme in the gym is outlandish and crazy too. In fact, I think that was in 2021 where they started painting in the gym. It might have been I think it was 2021. Let me see. Yeah, it was 2021, because here's a view of it in 2021, June 16th of 2021, and the color scheme actually looks nice. Check this out. Yeah, so it's not that it was bad at all. Obviously, there's issues with with the flooring there. Right there, you guys see that? That's from the water damage. And that needs to be, and it still hasn't been resolved. At least the last time he showed it. That's a whole other issue that needs to be resolved. And that deals with the mold too, the mold infestation inside that small gym. But also, this could impact.
Just wanted to show y'all, my donors and loyal supporters, we just got the gym floor power washed, polished, buffed. The Nat Turner Jean-Jacques Dessalines Gymnasium, just letting y'all know. We got our drain cleaned out. We got our doors fixed. We got the heating and cooling done in all the offices. It took all day, but they cleaned it. They was patient. They really took care of it. So we getting ready for the first annual Unapologetically African Festival, brothers and sisters. We getting ready for the first.
Okay, so you see the color scheme there, but let me show you what it looks like in there because he's a hoarder. This is what it looks like. It looked like in 2025. That video right here, this is from 2021, June 16th of 2021. Now let's go to 2025. Damn shame.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Tunde. Oh,
he made this box right before he started this live. I shouldn't do that. So that's petty. I know that's petty, but he made this shit right before he started this. Right before he started his live stream. The paint ain't even dry yet, family. What's up, Bobby? What's up, Bobby? He said, you know what? Let me make me a box. let me make me an FDMG donation box, red, black, and green, right quick. All right. Okay. It's a damn shit. It's grown ass man. Why you do this, Umar? You 51 doing this. It was grown ass man make FDMG donation box. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I'll make me an FDMG good donation box. I'm gonna paint it red, black, green, man. ABC 125. And then he got the nerve to show it too. What kind of 51-year-old? Why would you even show this? All right, but let me stop being petty. Here we go.
Ogun Tade, coming to you live and direct.
Look at all the trash and filth in this thing. He's a hoarder. Again, this is 2021.
Unapologetically African festival, brothers and
this is 2025.
Jacques Dessalines, Prophet Nat Turner, Gymnasium, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes. I want to say good Garvey Day to my continental Africans, my South.
See, this is the kicking spot. You know, he remind me of like Sanford and Son. That's what he remind me of, a mix between Sanford and Son and Oscar the Grouch.
South Africans, my Nigerian.
Derek said, damn. You ain't seen this one, Derek? We covered it. Yeah.
Africans, my Togolese, my Eritrean, my Ethiopian, my Congolese, my Angolan Africans, my Mozambique, all of my Africans.
You know, I don't get it, the box situation, because I got to throw boxes out. They even got box cutter. I'll be breaking boxes down and putting in recycle. I don't like boxes, just empty boxes sitting around, but that's me. He don't care.
Brothers and sisters, my Gambia.
Anybody else like that? Like you know, you order something off of Amazon or whatever, and it's in a box. You take it out, and then you don't just leave the box sitting around. I can't do that. I know how to break them down quick too. I break them down, put them all. I cannot. This guy, Umar, he will hoard a box.
Zambia, Madagascar Africans. We at the FDMG. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Caribbean Africans, my Jamaicans, and my Haitians, and my...
I mean, he got all kind of shit in here. What is that back there? Are those the trash bins? What in the world? What are those behind him? Because they look like black trash bins, but they kind of look like robots from Star Wars. That's looking like C-230 or something. I don't know. Is that... Yeah, never mind.
Bayesians, Bermudians.
Bayesians? Cut it out.
St. Croix, St. Thomas.
Yeah, isn't that a trip? How you going to have trash bins and you got trash all over the place? That's crazy.
St. Kitts, St. John, St. Lucia, St. Martin.
Look at all these boxes. What you keeping these boxes
My South
for?
American Africans, my Central American Africans.
I think Umar got cats, y'all. I think he got cats. He just leaves them in there. You know, cats love boxes. I think he just leave them cats in this poor cats. Y'all think he got cats? Umar got about 15 cats. They live in this gym. He just come by once a week, drop off some food. He didn't change the cat litter. He got one whole room with cat litter in it on the floor.
My Canadian Africans, my European
Someone said, nah, he ain't got no cat. Cats ain't gonna be like being in filth.
Africans.
And you see that little treadmill thing back there?
The Africans in Asia.
It's behind him. He found that inside that little storage spot. And it's from the Umar Academy. So in 2025, that thing's at least a decade old. But he put it inside the gym. A small gym. And look at the color scheme in the gym, too. That's why I was kind of got blown off.
Australia, the South Pacific, peace and Pan Africanism to my Texas Africans, my Louisiana, my Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, the Dakotas.
He ain't got nothing else to do.
Seattle, New Mexico, Dallas, Houston, ATL, Savannah, Nashville, Knox.
Umar got a dolly back there. That's he moved the boxes around. He put on that dolly.
Bill, St. Louis.
He don't move them out of there. He just moved them to another area.
My Philadelphia, my Harrisburg.
Why he got hearts, FDMG hearts on his shirt? Here we go, room 130.
Feel me? My York, my Chambersburg Africans, my Cheltenham, my Derby, my Yaden, my Chester
yeah, he said Vermont.
Africans. It's your big brother King Kong consciousness.
Vermont, isn't Vermont expensive in Monopoly? Is that Vermont Avenue or something? I'm maybe thinking something else.
Brothers, we are not at the swap meet, my brother.
No, that's Park Place.
We had to take all the furniture.
Somebody said, are you at a swap meet? Umar at the hood swap meet. That's what it looks like.
Out of the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey Elementary School and bring it into the gym as we renovate the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the right excellent most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey Elementary School. We getting ready, brothers and sisters. That's all we doing. We getting ready, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes.
He got all kind of shit in here. Some of the stuff I can't even recognize. Why he got paper and shit? What?
We getting ready, brothers and sisters.
These boxes are empty.
That's all we doing. We out here working.
Well, they got other boxes in them, but you all see my
hard FDMG. Make sure you hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Make sure you hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Make sure you hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Check a money order, P.O. Box 9634.
Look at that big old thing of trash right behind him, sitting on top of that, that's crazy.
Check a money order, P.O. Box 9634. Check a money order.
Look like he got a dead hog in there.
P.O. Box 9630.
You see that?
For Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes.
And he looking bad, too. He's a hoarder.
When you come to the grand opening, drop a donation in the box, brothers and sisters. When you come to the grand opening, you must drop a donation in the box, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
When you come to the grand opening, you must drop a donation in the box. I'm just letting y'all know we working, family. We cleaning up, we working.
Notice he's not working and it's not clean in there. It's filthy in there. And if we go back to 2021, this is what it looks like.
That's what we doing right now. That 3-on-3 basketball tournament for the young princes. Finishing up what we started.
Yeah, let me just go to this one part I want to show you all. Because he walks by these rooms and y'all see how yes, right here. So these not only was the main gym area, like the basketball court, not only was it cleared out, but these rooms were cleared out too.
Nat turned the
and I can say that because there was a time where he had people come in and do carpet in there. He was trying to fix up some of those smaller rooms in there. But now there's trash filled all the way up, like the wall. You'll see, not all the way up the wall, but you'll see.
Gymnasium. We're going to get this floor shined up again. We not playing with y'all. We not playing no games around here. You either building institutions or you wasting people time.
I remember one time when he first went up in here, one of the earlier times he was walking through these bandos. This particular, it was in this small gym. I think it was it was a small gym. I think it was a long time ago. And he walked up to this dresser, not a dresser, but this table that had a drawer in the middle, and he opened it up, and there was a plastic baggie with what looked like a little crack pipe in there. I kid you not. And he closed it real quick. I was laughing my ass off. I said, well, let's move on. Hit the one. Anybody remember that one? Now, I have the video. I just can't remember which one it was because we actually did a live on it. Yep, we sure did. We did a live on it. He tried to close it real quick. Yep, that was a long time ago. Most of y'all, Kev remember. Galactic. So, yeah, Kev was around back in the day. Yep. Phi Taylor, yeah, and I didn't say much about it. I said, "Oh, that looked like her." I said, "Well, let's just move on." Yeah, Keylocker, remember? Yeah, I could find it. It would take me a long time, though. But it was one of the earlier videos of Umar when he first started going and showing the interior. And this is after February of 2019 because he showed some the outside, but this is after later on he started showing the inside. Yeah, you remember this. Yeah. I mean, I could find it. It would take a long time. But I remember when we saw it, I just kind of skipped past it. I made some funny comments. I was like, let's move on. Yeah. But see, now that I know what I know now, based upon researching what I know now, I know what the deal was then. It's just I wasn't, I was trying to give Umar the benefit of the doubt. The same thing when these women came out and spoke about. One said that he essayed her, and another one said that he was spying on her, and he had stole her intellectual property, and that he's a pervert, and that she was making some of those claims. At the time, I was like, no, that's too much, But now when I think about it, based upon all of the research and then other people coming out and sharing similar stories, I'm like, wait a minute, yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's get moving here. Back with, and we're doing fine on time too, because I was going to do a short show, but it's all good. Phi Taylor says, peace, my big bro, peace to you. Thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat as well. I appreciate it. Miranda says, if the school did open and he had those, oh yeah, so we were talking about this, so that's kind of how we got blowed off a little bit. This color scheme inside the gym is over the top too. It's a little bit different because that's a gym setting, but the point is that what Umar did was he took that same color or general color scheme with these orishas or these deities and Ifa, and he just transposes that, if you will, into the small, what he calls a small school. But it's not all different colors. He'll just put one room with one specific color, the green, the red, the blood red. There's one, the room, I think it's black. There's also one that has a brown color. I like the brown. I just think it's just too dark. If it was more mellow, I think that'd be different. But yeah, overstimulating for these children, right? Thank you, Miranda, for the super chat. TJ says, snorting, grunting, lying, you name it, he does it. Yeah, absolutely. That's Umar. Thank you for the super chat. T. Jones, how's it going? T. Jones says that box was outside room 130. Yeah, let me stop. Let me not do that. Yeah, it was outside of room 130. Okay, thank you for being a memo for 61 months. That might be the record right there. Thank you so much, T. Jones. Appreciate you. Heartbreaker from the Bronx says, I know that gym right now smells like a bottle of what the F. Yeah, see, the thing is that there was an issue with the pipe, the main pipe, the drainage pipe inside of that small gym. It was an issue for a long time. Umar said he got it cleared up, but there's no telling. Ain't no telling. And it would back up. And I can pull up the videos where you'll see that it's like water that backs up into that pipe, and then it settles on the gym floor. That's why that gym, there's places where it has these bumps and ridges in it, if you will. That's from the water damage. So that, again, those buildings have been sitting for approximately 4 years before Umar purchased them or acquired them. And then now they've been sitting for another almost 7 years. So altogether, they've been abandoned for a little bit over a decade. So if you think about it, that's an issue that's been ongoing. Umar says he corrected. Ain't no telling. He said that in 2025. But even still, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. We're talking about this water issue inside of that small gym wherein they were, in essence, abandoned for at least 8 years. So you can only imagine what type of damage that is taking place on the surface of this gym, but also could have gotten down into the foundation. Furthermore, in terms of the mold issue, standing water with no ventilation, there's no lighting for many, many years, and the doors are closed. There's no HVAC or nothing like that. That's a biohazard. And there's black mold in there. I've already shown the evidence of that. It's one of his followers was the one that mentioned it, and you can see it clearly. It's quite a bit of it. All right. So who knows what it smells like now? Ain't no telling. Thank you, Heartbreaker from the Bronx. Kirkmana says, you would think he would at least have an office space. Yeah, but remember, there was a time where Umar was talking about he was going to turn one of the rooms inside of the small gym into his office space. And he was putting forth the effort. It was a big show. He always got something. HVAC. It's always something. But yeah, he put some carpet in there and he painted in there, and then he put this wall fan heater in there, and it was supposed to become his office. In fact, there was a brother that did these 3D what do they call? I can't remember what they call, renderings, if you will, of what these buildings would look like on the outside. I've played some of that recently, and then also on the inside. And specifically inside of that gym where Umar said he was going to have his office, he has this whole thing where he kind of, it looks really nice inside the rendering. And Umar, he took the color scheme, and that's exactly how he painted, or at least he attempted to, that one room that he was going to turn into an office. But even to this date, he never finished it. He never finishes anything. You would think that after 6 years, 11 months, and a week, he would actually have one room renovated. It's about to be 7 years. Not one room has been renovated to completion. But yeah, he said he was going to turn that room into an office, but he never did it. Okay, and I can back all this up with receipts I can pull. But that goes to show you he's not serious about opening up a school. See, I gave this recommendation back in 2019. He should focus on one room and get it, make it look nice. Okay, everything else, because it still looks shitty anyway, but everything else, don't worry about it. One room, focus on that and turn that into your official office. Get it painted by a professional. Right? No crazy colors. Get you a nice desk, a professional looking desk, and a nice chair, professional looking, like an executive chair. Like, do that. Really do that. Right? Put pictures on the wall, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, you have your African artifacts, like how you kind of have, but not as much stuff. Not make it look professional, make it look like a real office. Have your degrees on the wall, certifications if you got them at that time. And then make it look real nice. And even if you don't have lighting at that time, electricity, go invest into some lighting, right? That battery light, because I got one right here that I use. It's plugged up. But I also bought batteries. I could put a battery pack in because they used it when he did the promo video, the FDMG promo video. But do the same thing, right, inside of this office, and make it look really nice. Take the board off of that one window and let the sunlight come in, and then once a week, give an update to people and be professional about it. Don't get the sniffing and blinking and talking about cookies and, alpha males and room 130 and all this other stuff. We don't want to hear all that P. Diddy shit. We don't want to hear all that. Be professional. Give a timeline. Tell people what you're doing for that week, once a week. And that money would have been kicking in big time. But in addition to that, have a website and upload pictures of progress that's being made, starting with that one office. Umar didn't even do that day one. He could have done any real man who's collected millions of dollars at that time. Because remember, in his IRS filings, Umar said he had $500,000 left over after he purchased these trap bandos. Well, handle the business. That money would have been coming in like crazy. Update people, had a website set up, and to tell people what you're going to do, and then have it like a list. This week we're going to do this, and then the next week, you update. Yeah, we got this done. Okay, or there was a delay, so we're going to push this back, but we're going to get this done. Then you get it done, check it off the list, and boy, show progress. But the main thing is the optics of it. It will not only it's informative, but from an optics standpoint, people say, "Oh, he's serious about doing this. He has an office. He still don't got an office to this day." And if anyone think that this is an office, look, this is the closest thing Umar has to an office is this.
You either building institutions or you wasting people time. It's King Kong-alicious right now. It's King Kong-alicious right now.
Beard all mangy. Come on, have some professionalism. You know, I know last show I have time to iron my shirt. I got this shirt got ironed before we got going here. You know, I took a shower before we just because. You know, even brushed my teeth. You know, but now look at this.
It's King Kongalicious right now, brothers and sisters.
I can't believe this guy can have hearts for FDMG. That's crazy.
It's King Kongalicious. Oops.
He don't know what he's doing. Look, he got empty bottles. He's a hoarder. You hear the bottles?
Yeah.
It's probably gin bottles.
Who coming to First Fridays at FDM?
You see that room back here? Kitwana? This is what I was talking about earlier. If you guys look behind Umar, I'll pause it.
Who coming to First Fridays at?
You see that room right there? That used to be cleared out. That was supposed to be the office. That's not the bathroom, because the bathroom's just like this little area, and it parts this way. One's the girls' bathroom, the other one's the boys' bathroom. But there's at least two other little rooms like this that he was claiming this was going to be his office. And so he got carpet put down in there. But look at it. Look where it's at in 2025. This was about 3 months ago. I mean, there's trash. None of that was in there before. I could pull up the video and show you what I mean, but none of that was in there before. It was cleared out. But he's thrown shit in here to where it's halfway up, a little bit over halfway up the wall, and it goes all the way back. Look at that.
At FDMG, the first Friday of every month for all
That's the bathroom over there, drinking fountain, and left to the right of the bathroom.
Pan Africanists.
That's why they has doors. You can see the doors right there. And there's other areas too, back. You can see too. He's probably got shit over there.
Who coming to First Fridays at FDMG? The first Friday of every.
See, this is another thing. He's always coming up with stuff. He never does anything. He just throws stuff out there. He's all over the place.
Every month for all RBG Pan Africanists.
Okay, so if you look behind him, there's two other ones too. And to be fair, those may be the offices too, but those are probably one of those would be the office space that he was talking about. It could be the other one that I showed. So just to be fair with Umar, I would have to go back and look at the original video. But if you look back there, it's probable that he got a gang of shit up there because there's shit packed up over there too.
Oh yes, for all RBG Pan Africanists. Mm-hmm.
He ain't got nothing to say. Let me see if I can find this video right quick.
Let me check.
Does it look like he's organized? He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. I'm at the doorway of SU Elegbara.
Here he goes.
I'm at the doorway of SU Elegbara. I'm at the wall of Oguntade. I'm at the wall of Oguntade. Worrying about no haters.
Here he
Y'all
goes.
can't stop me. Where the school at? Yeah, all right.
He mad.
Yeah, all right.
He's so mad. Umar be getting mad.
Uh-huh. Let them talk, brothers and sisters. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this other video. Oh, here it go right here. Okay, so this video, the video we're watching now, this is from 2025. So it fits within the timeline. It's just like a little bit later on in the timeline. But I want to go back to 2021, September 29th of 2021. This is one of the rooms. Little sovereign. He was going to turn into an office.
And what do y'all call that again? The cold
base.
Cold base. You think y'all gonna be able to switch it in the offices?
I don't know how much you got.
Boy, look at that. That's a circuit breaker. It's all busted out at the top.
I don't know.
Boy, that's crazy. They got electricity running through there too.
Cool. Okay.
I don't know how much you got. Because I did a hotel up in Gettysburg that we used like a bunch of code base. But I
Okay.
big rolls.
I got you.
I don't really like the rolls, but for the amount of, linear feet that I needed.
Right. Okay. Okay. Because if it's up to me, if we limited on it and we got to choose between the gym and the offices, I say do the offices because y'all just did the carpet. You feel me? Give it that nice finish.
Umar, try to get the hook up.
There you go, Baba, right there. What you thinking on that code base, Baba? You got enough to do the whole gym? Or
See that? This was supposed to be the office, this one right here. Because he painted that one raw green. It's supposed to be red. I think there's red in there though too.
We're just gonna do the offices today, or yeah.
I brought white and I brought some dark gray.
Okay.
Yo, I got you to hook up just now. I made some phone calls.
Okay.
And I ain't make the phone call today. It was a couple when I was here.
Okay.
You're gonna be here for at least an hour.
Yeah.
This bull coming down here. His name is Mookie.
Uh-huh.
Mookie.
Okay.
He's probably younger than you.
He said Mookie coming through. Man, remember Mookie? Back in the day, I wish I was Mookie. Because she's the Latina lady, Rosie Perez. Well, I wish I was Mookie. Let me show y'all something. Let me skip through because I think it goes into. I thought it goes into. Oh, here it go right here. So when Umar saw this, he was trying to recreate this look. Yeah, and there's that heater thing because Umar put this heater up in there. And see, part of the issue was that little small heater, it wasn't going to, make it possible to heat up even this room well enough to where you could be functional in the wintertime, because it's basically like a freezer. So you have just this one room that has that small heater in it, but you have this larger space, the rest of the gym, where there's no heating taking place. So it didn't work out for Umar. Yeah, so that's where he got the idea for this particular room that he's talking about here.
Okay. Because if it's up to me
Okay.
I'm walking through the FDMG park.
Okay, let's get back on track here. Let me get these videos off. Which one is this? Oh, and then here's one other example.
Festival@gmail.com.
Of Umar after he painted the gym. You can see the color scheme. Yeah, this is from August 5th. Umar in here sweating profusely for some reason. Maybe it was hot out there on that day. It looks like he threw some water on his face.
I know what I gotta do. Hit the CashApp. Forgot we got that water. Hit the CashApp.
Yeah, there's people who really fell for this. It's incredible just to see his behavior.
Saturday, September the 11th. Saturday, September the 11th. Pull up. Saturday, September the...
All right. Man, it's amazing looking back at this. This is 2021. We're in 2026, and ain't nothing really changed. All right, so I talked about the munition. That was from August 8th of 2025. Of course, Umar does this video right here. This is the next thing, because there's a lot of people who were talking about all of this. And then now I want to go ahead and get through this video where Umar kind of addresses some of this at least. And he comes up with some really fanciful stories and explanations that didn't make any sense. Thanks again, Kitwana, for the super chat. We got a little blow off, but it is what it is. That's how we do things. We got 1,100 people, 2 in the building. Thanks so much. We got to 500 likes. Thank you guys so much. User225 says, didn't Umar Johnson crap on African immigrants? Why he's shouting them out? Yeah, I haven't heard him do that. Maybe he has. I haven't heard him do that. Yeah, I can't speak to that. And I don't want to say he said something that he did. Thank you, User225. Slim Jerusalem says, watching your streams, I believe the building being sold was his escape plan. You trapped him by breaking that story. I thought about that too. It is possible. So Umar knew that these bills were past due, and the city they actually emailed this one brother and gave a whole timeline in terms of their communications with Umar. Umar knew what was taking place. Umar acts like he didn't know what took place. But I talked about this when we were covering those videos, that if you owe any company, it could be let's say the power company, the gas company, water company, or even your cell phone bill, and you don't pay for the past due, they may let it slide for a month or two, but at a certain point, they're going to start contacting you. They're going to send you an email. They're going to text you. They're going to call you. They may even send a letter if it gets bad enough, right? That's how businesses operate. Umar tried to pretend as if he didn't know that they all of a sudden stopped communicating with him. No, that's not the case. And the truth is that these bills go back to 2019 in some cases. Okay, we can say with absolute certainty that by 2020, the bill for the vacant property list, Umar knew about that at least in 2020. It's just been accumulating. That's why it gets up to where it was at a certain point. I can't remember, 15,000, whatever it was. The point is, and that's just on one side of the street. Umar was given fair notice over and over again, and so the final straw was they posted these munitions, right? And that's like, listen, this is it. You're gonna pay this or you're not. On this side street, $17,810 and 17 cents. No, 70. I can't see it. I even have my glasses on. But the point is, he knew that this was coming down the line. In total, for both sides of the street, it was $38,388.22. So when I break this story, it is possible that Umar was waiting, because he didn't mention any of this. He didn't tell his followers, his donors, that this may potentially, these buildings were going to be sold. He didn't tell them that he owed $38,388.22, or that they owed it, because he ain't got no job. It is quite possible, because Umar's diabolical, that he wasn't going to say anything and then let these buildings go to auction, and then they get sold, and then say, hey, listen, they sold them. They sold these buildings without even letting me know. I wouldn't put it past him. And then, of course, his father, they're doing that too. And it's the white man, it's the government. Oh, okay, we need to send more donations. So I don't know, we can buy it back, or we can get another abandoned building somewhere. I don't know, right? But it's possible. But see, what happens is that when I break the story about the munition, it opens up Pandora's box, because now Umar can't backtrack and say, hey, listen, I didn't know about it. Because he was given, I think it was 21 days or something to that effect. So he has 21 days now, and everyone knows that he has 21 days. Whereas if I didn't break the story, no one would have known that this was taking place, and he could have let those 21 days pass, and then they sell these shits, and then he concocts this whole story to give to his followers to keep the scam going on indefinitely. It's possible. It's possible, right? Either way, it wasn't a good look for Umar. And he didn't have a good excuse for it. And that's the next video we're going to get to. He tried to make excuses, don't make no sense. Thanks, Slim Jerusalem, for super chat. I appreciate it. Mr. Monica says, hey, Lenon, I heard that the brother that recorded his visit to FDMG got his channel taken down. I don't want to say his name unless you want to mention it. I hope he got his channel back. Yeah, I replied to your email, too. It took me a while because I'm still backed up. I'm never going to get caught up on emails. It just got so far out of control, especially when there were people coming forward to share their stories, some publicly, but some just they shared it with me dealing with Umar in 2025. A lot of stories, crazy shit, this guy. But I did respond to that, and I know who you're talking about, but I don't know. I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think it was because of Umar and his coverage of Umar. because there's plenty of people who cover Umar. I got to use a different word. There's plenty of people who, there was someone gave, I can't remember what it was. That was I got to memorize that. But there's other people who report on Umar and have been for a very long time, and they haven't had that type of an issue. So I think it's something else. I emailed you. Just check your email and you'll see what my response was. Yes, yeah, the report. Yeah, report on Umar. I just got to memorize that. Okay, because room 130 is crazy. Yeah, say no Diddy. No 130. Okay, so what's up, sports fan? Okay, thanks, Mistress Monica, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, and then Miranda says he must be sleeping in that gym. It's awful. I'm sure that there's been times where he slept in there. I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt whatsoever. Right? Yeah. Thank you, Miranda, for the super chat. User two, because it's been a long time. It's been a very long time. Okay, again, he acquired him in February of 2019. We're in January of 2026. It's crazy. Thank you. User 25 says, pull up the Toilet Tune Day video. It's super relevant. No. I was planning on getting to it in this timeline but I don't even want to think about it right now. But I was thinking about actually pulling that up at some point when we close this out. We'll probably close this out next week, and then I'll be specifically focusing on the documentary. I won't be live streaming all that much. Okay. Thank you, User 25. I appreciate it. Kitwana says he gives Pan-Africanism a black eye. He does. He really does. I think he's done a disservice to those who are true Pan-Africanists. Umar's not a Pan-Africanist in a traditional sense at all. He's not. He's too divisive for that. See, Pan-Africanism is largely inclusive. Umar is very divisive. And what I mean by inclusive, it's like there's supposed to be, people from around the world working together, for a common goal. Umar, he doesn't work together with other people, and his goal is simply to exploit black people. It's not to build anything or, his whole the reason why he uses Pan-Africanism is not because he is a follower of Pan-Africanism or that he believes in Pan-Africanism. The reason why he uses Pan-Africanism is because it's associated heavily with Marcus Garvey. And Marcus Garvey is who, I think, in my opinion, out of all of the people that he idolizes, Marcus Garvey is the one that he wanted to be the most. And he still wants to be the most. Okay, that's why he had all these issues in the UNIA, which is the Marcus Garvey organization. Umar wanted to become the president general, which was the position that Marcus Garvey held. See? So he uses Pan-Africanism because it's largely associated with Marcus Garvey and other people too, but mainly Marcus Garvey. But he's not a Pan-Africanist in a traditional sense. There's been people from the UK that they've sent me emails over the years. They talked about how real Pan-Africanists over there in the UK, they don't recognize Umar as a Pan-Africanist because he's too divisive. Right? He spends more time criticizing black people than actually building things or building something into the future. Right? But that's Umar. No. Thank you, Kitwana. SH Play says Umar is pretending to be handy. He has no idea what he's doing. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about Umar, and he stated it. I have it on record where he says he was never taught to work with his hands, but that's because his daddy wasn't present. He didn't have male influence to show him those types of things. See, I've taught all my sons to do different things and fixing certain things. I had to do it because my father wasn't around, but I've taught them certain things so that they can at least be functional to that degree. One of my sons, he likes to build. I don't know what they call these things. I don't know. They're like puzzles, but they're figures, and then you put them together. Then there's all this intricate. He does that stuff real. But he used to do all that kind of stuff when he was really, really young. But anyway, I taught them those types of things. Umar, he was never taught that. So when he gets in there, and you can tell when he was talking with the brother that was doing the carpet work, Umar didn't know what he was talking about. He was just trying to figure out a way to actually spend less money. But he doesn't know the intricacies of what's taking place. He's inept, totally inept. Okay, and if you're going to take on a project like this, you need to either be handy or you need to concede power to someone who can organize, like a general contractor, so that they can use their expertise to get things done. Right, and in the process, you should learn how to do these things and be handy too. But Umar doesn't do it. He's lazy. That's another aspect. He wasn't taught different. Basic things that a man should know. Okay, call me sexist if you want to, but you should be able to. If you need to fix a doorknob, you should know how to do that. You should fix a door, change out a door. You shouldn't have to wait for some contractor to do that shit, Umar. That's simple, basic shit you should have done day one. As a man, that's what you do. But Umar was never taught that. Basic stuff. Y'all ever see Umar with a hammer, or you ask him what's a Phillips screwdriver versus a flathead, he wouldn't be able to tell you. He wouldn't be able to tell you. So if you're going to do a project like this, either you learn the skill set before you start a project like this, or you bring someone on board who knows what they're doing and can see power and authority to them, so that they advise you, but you put that process in their hands so that they can get that done. And then while they're doing it, you learn along the way. But not Umar. He's too lazy, right? And he's too megalomaniac. He's a megalomaniac. Thanks, SH Blake. Derek says, why was Steve Harvey on the emblem in the gym? I don't know. I have no. They put Steve Harvey and Gabby Davis, or whatever her name is. I was going to say Eric Davis. It was one of my favorite baseball players from back in the day. He played for the Cincinnati Reds. Yep. Yeah, his swing was interesting. That was incredible. Anyway, thanks, Derek. I don't have no idea. Kip Warner says, do you notice that whenever he is in the bandos, his sinuses act up? Yes. There's times when he's not, that it acts up too, but in particular when he's in those trap bandos, I've seen it over and over again. Okay, now there's two things. Number one, these trap bandos, they're biohazards, and they were biohazards prior to Umar purchasing them. So that's number one. So he's in these filthy internet just went out. Okay, are we still live streaming? I'm sorry, this is in caps. So I actually hit that button. Yeah, let me know if we were still live streaming without internet kicked out and then it came back on. So they were already classified as brownfield catalyst sites, and they were already inside the report. They talked about how no inspections had been done recently enough to be able, so they can determine what types of issues may be present. That could be mold, asbestos, lead paint, whatever, these types of things. That's why Umar, he talks about that in that first video, but he doesn't know because he didn't get any. No one's went through there to do any type of investigation in terms of air quality, water quality, any of that stuff. There was a time where on these doors, the bathroom doors, and over the faucet, there were these little notes posted there to say not to drink the water. Okay, even though they didn't have water going through, there's still water in the pipes that could, come up. And it specifically said don't because it could be contaminated by the time it's been sitting inside these pipes, and who knows the condition of the pipes. Prior to Umar even purchased these trap bandos, the buildings have been sitting vacant for about 4 years. So who knows what's going on in there in terms of biohazard, toxicity levels, etc. So what I noticed is two things. When Umar's in there, you tend to see him sniffing a lot. There's one time he was coughing. I noticed that recently. We played this video. He was doing like this. I said, yeah, you up inside these trap bandos, and there's a mold issue already. Who knows what else is going on there? But the other thing, Kit One, is that these abandoned buildings function as Umar's kick-it spot. And this is the drop-off spot for the plug. See, a lot of people think he up here trying to open up a school. No, it's the kick-it spot. I said this to people a long time ago, and that's where old black people get together to kick it. Okay, it can be younger people, but in this case, he's 51. And so it's the kick-it spot. The plug comes through. I have evidence of that too. The plug comes through and drops off. And Umar be up in there blazing. And then he get the sniffing and blinking and tweaking and shit and coming out late at night and pouring water on his head, acting crazy because he's tweaking. So those two things combined. People think he's going to open up a school. Real talk, Umar spent more time being high than he does educating black boys. Clock it. Young people, they be doing some shit like this. Weirdos. You young people these days. What the fuck is that about? Clock it. What the huh? I want one of you young people to explain that shit to me. Clock it. Yo, so is any young people up in here explain that to me? Anyway. All right, thanks, Kitwana. Same old T. What's up? Says he didn't see the notices because all his mail comes to his mama house. He ain't checking on her never. Yeah. But these notices I'm talking about, they were actually posted inside of the buildings, and I don't know who posted them. See, real talk. If we go back to when Umar originally went up there to go look at these trap bandos in 2017, they may have been posted there. I don't remember seeing them, but they may have been posted at that time. We can go back and look. But the point that I'm getting at is that those notices, specific. I'm not talking about the munitions that was posted on the doors. I'm talking about the notices for the water quality. That those were probably posted after the Moyer Academy initially closed down. Now, what you're talking about here with these notices on these trap bandos, you're right. If memory serves me correctly, Umar, I think he was in Africa at that time. Yep. If memory serves me correctly, because the way he tells the story, I don't even think he was in the United States when they posted them shit. So he found out after the fact. If memory serves me correctly. So real talk, they could see, more than likely they weren't sent to his mama's house. More than likely they were sent to his P.O. box. And he's received those notices. It's just that he wanted to pretend that he didn't receive them. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And it's possible that his whole scheme was to, like someone was saying earlier, to let these buildings go off the sheriff's sale and actually get sold. Because then on the back end, he can come back and say, hey, listen, they actually sold the buildings and I didn't even know about it. As opposed to they were going to try to sell these buildings, but then I found out about it. And then now we need money so that we can pay this so that they won't sell the buildings, something like that. Anyway. All right. Thank you, Same OT, for the super chat. Appreciate it. A lady says Pan Africanism is great as a lifestyle, if you like, but Umar and some folk want to pay them because they are Pan Africans. Get a real job. Yeah, but I think that's in general with Umar. He attaches himself to different quote unquote movements, but it's not because he's functional within any of these movements, any given movement. It's not that he's functional. It's that he uses it to attach himself so that he can strengthen his pool. It's like clout chasing so that he can get more money out of people. This is a really good point. Another example is when Umar talks about how he wants to have different conferences. If you guys listen to the terminology of these conferences, it sounds as if this could actually be a conference. Right. So it's almost as if he'll come up with something that sounds similar to something that has already happened or that people are talking about. And he attaches himself to it because then it makes it seem as if what he's talking about is more legitimate. I'll give you another example in just a moment, because this isn't as clear as I would like it to be. But by doing that, he clout chases off on somebody else's idea or a conference title that sounds it makes sense, but it's not that someone else hasn't done it already, but he throws it out there anyway. He never does it. But by throwing it out there, he can legitimize asking for more donations, because this is another event that we're going to put on. Okay. Let me give you a clearer example with Umar. There was a time when, and he went out to New York because there was these African countries that had sent, I don't know what they call these people over. What they call these, I can't think of the terminology, but they have a specific name because it's a specific status in the government that they have. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. And they came over to New York, and I can't remember what organization it was exactly, but Umar associated himself with that. And the idea was that he was just trying to associate himself with Pan Africanism because it was kind of like part of it, but also with whatever that organization was called. And they were trying to do like these big things in Africa, and they'd all got together from different countries and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. It's delegate, something to that effect. Delegate, diplomat. Thank you so much. It's just not ministers. It was diplomat or delegates or something like that. I think it was delegates. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, or ambassadors. One of the two. Ambassadors are something to that effect. Okay, some of you guys remember this. So Umar, he tries to attach himself to it, but then he tries to present it to everyone else, like here in the United States of America, as the Prince of Pan Africanism, as like he's the main person involved in this. He's the headliner in all this stuff. And then he goes up there and he runs his mouth and he's yelling. You should see how the Africans, they were looking up here at this guy like, who is this guy? Well, that's Umar's way of attaching himself, okay, to this organization or to this cause that he really doesn't have anything to do with, but it emboldens the perception that people have of him as this great Pan-Africanist leader. But see, we were talking about this earlier with Umar. He's a poser. He pretends to be all of these things, but in essence, he's none of these things. But if he can pretend to be, then he can draw upon more people. He can draw upon more money from the people. Okay? And that's consistently what Umar Johnson does. Okay, thank you, lady, for the super chat. The other thing is that Umar, he could have just gotten, with all of the education and degrees that he had, and if he was in his right mind, that's a big factor in this. He could have just got a regular old job or just went with his career and stuck with it, and he would have made a wonderful life just like that. Okay, but he's corrupted. He was corrupted a long time ago, and he's lazy. He talks about how black people are lazy and black kids are lazy all the time, but the person who's laziest is Umar. Okay, thank you, lady. New T Diggy says Eric Davis, the 44 Magnum. He was one of my favorites too. Yeah, he's one of my favorite players back in the day. Was Eric Davis. Yeah, him, Eric Davis, and Darryl Strawberry. Yeah, Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberry. There was also another guy. I can't remember his name. He was one of the greatest shortstops of all time. He played for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was one of my Ozzie Davis. Was it not Ozzie Davis? Was it Ozzie? Ain't that the actor? I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, Ozzie Davis is an actor. Okay. Thank you, New T Diggy. Shout out to Eric Davis. Yeah, he was one of my favorite players when I was growing up. Yeah, Ozzie Smith. That's what it is. I'm tripping. Ozzie Smith. Yeah, Darryl Strawberry, Umar, they got something in common. We ain't gonna get into that right now. GC Drummer says, them floors are insane. That damn, yeah, I know. And that's the other thing when I showed the video of when they buffed the floor and how it was all clear. And then you see videos later on and you look at the floor, there's like this film, a white film that rests on top. So that's not normal. There's something going on in that building and whatever's falling down, obviously from the ceiling. But the other thing too is it could be stuff coming in through the door too, because stuff's not sealed properly. Okay, because there's only one door, but I've seen him shut that door and you can see light coming through from the bottom of it. That's why it didn't make any sense for Umar to try to at least attempt to put in a heater, that little small heater inside of that one little room, because everything else is like an ice box. Okay? Wilmington gets cold. Okay, and then you got snow. The snow compacts itself. That makes it even colder. Okay, and Umar, he don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing at all. Thank you, Dreezy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm all caught up because I want to at least get into this other video a little bit. We're gonna go for another 40 minutes here. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Thank you all so much for all the super chats too. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I appreciate all of the support. And we got the 535 likes. Let's try to get to 600. We get to 600. I know I said 500, but that's the normal goal. We're going to go to 600. I'll play the song. See, now I'm being like Umar. I'm going to play it either way, okay? But let's try to get to 600. Okay, so I want to get to this video before we close out. And we should have just enough time to get through it, maybe. And this is a video from August 12th of 2025. Real quick, the poll question is... were you surprised that Umar Johnson almost lost the Bandos in 2025? 11% said yes, 20% said no. Okay, let's get going here. Here we go. See, there was a lot of people talking about this situation.
Peace in Pan Africanism, peace in Pan Africanism. Peace in Pan Africanism, peace in Pan Africanism. Peace in Pan Africanism, peace in Pan Africanism. Happy Leo season. Happy Black August. Happy Leo season. Happy Black August. Happy Leo season. Happy Black August. Peace in Pan Africanism to my continental Africans, my Nigerian Africans, my Ghanaian Africans, my Togolese, Benin Africans, my Liberian, Basutu Africans, Congolese, Angola, Mozambique, my Eritrean Republic Africans, my Sydney Africans, with them are
that's 2 minutes in.
Australian Africans. Donald Trump want to pull out the nexus, my Maryland, my Virginia, Washington, D.C., we stand with you. Washington, D.C., we stand with you. Donald Trump want to pull out the National Guard. Washington, D.C., we stand with you. My Philly Africans, my West Philly, my North Philly, my Southwest Philly, my Derby, my Yeadon, my Chester Africans, my Delaware Africans, my Wilmington Africans. Thank you for standing with us. Wilmington, Delaware Africans, my Dover, Delaware Africans, my Sussex County Africans, my Connecticut Africans, my Brooklyn, my Harlem, my Long Island, Staten Island, Boogie Down Bronx Africans.
See, are we still live streaming? Yeah, my what you call it is cut out again. Let me know.
FDMG announcement. Hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Make your donations for Black August Leo season. I will see you in Nat Turner land, August the 21st, next week.
Okay,
Nat
can you guys
Turner
see the
land.
video? Yeah, let me know if you guys can see the video.
Make sure you go to natturnerlibrary.com and get your tickets.
What's up,
Make
man?
sure you go to natturnerlibrary.com and get your tickets.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to natturnerlibrary.com and get your tickets. I will see you in Nat Turner land, August the 21st.
What's up, Keith?
New Orleans, Louisiana, August the 29th. I will see you.
Let me skip through.
Hurricane Alabama, where you at, brothers and sisters?
Here we go.
We are fighting this war against FDMG and Dr. Umar Tunde. We are fighting this war against FDMG and Dr. Umar Tunde. We were supposed to get a refund within 4 days of our accounts being shut down. We were supposed to get a refund within 4 days of our accounts being shut down. We still haven't got our refund. We still haven't got our refund. We still haven't got our refund. So, not only are the accounts frozen.
Here you go.
Not only are the accounts frozen. Make sure y'all hit my Venmo and my PayPal. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or tap my Venmo. Text me for the links to donate to FDMG. Text me for the links to support Dr. Umar. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. On August the 5th, brothers and sisters, on August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus for unpaid vacant property registration fees. I repeat, on August the 5th.
Okay, watch how he spins this into this big elaborate lie. It's like someone had mentioned this last week, I think. Yeah, I know. He be lying. This be lying. He'd be lying so much. But you see, you can already see he's getting this. I don't even know how to call this. It's like he's formulating the early stages of this huge elaborate lie. Right? Just like when he was talking about his bank accounts being frozen initially, and the lies about his bank account and how they called, he called them and they couldn't find it, and then they found it, but it was frozen. You see what I'm saying? So this is what he's doing right here. He's getting into that same mode. He's setting the stage to tell this elaborate lie. But someone had mentioned that this is something that narcissists will do, like the explanation or the excuse. It can't be something simple. It's always this over the top, type shit. And that's what Umar's doing, right? He's just getting it started. Okay. He be lying. You right. Thank you, God, little princess. Let's go.
The city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a lien to auction off the campus we bought, the campus we've been working on for 6.5 years.
Yes, we, huh?
I was not notified of this. We were not notified of this. This past weekend, without a...
By the way, my son, he's playing his drums. They're electric though, but he puts on headphones, but you can still hear because he had asked for his birthday. Okay, are we still on? Yeah, I think it came back. I apologize. It was today, for whatever reason, I've been having internet connection problems. Yeah. Anyway, let me know if it's too loud. Him banging on those drums. He's not banging on them. Just let me know. I can ask him to stop. Okay. Let me check my internet speed again. Again, I've been having problems, but for what I pay with the ISP, I shouldn't be. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. See, there's a problem again. I'm only getting now. I was at like 900 megabits per second. Now I'm getting 93. Well, anyway. Let's keep going. Here we go.
The email this past weekend without a letter in the mail. This past weekend without a phone call. The city of Wilmington put a notice on the door handle of both of our schools.
Okay, later on, a representative from the city of Wilmington sent a message, and I confirmed it too because I contacted them too, and they have a whole timeline. They've been attempting to communicate with Umar, but Umar wasn't responding back to them, and that's why. And they've been trying to get in contact or trying to develop some sort of communication with him for months, but Umar wouldn't respond. And at a certain point, they took the next step. So Umar's lying right here,
informing me that if we don't pay the past due vacant property registration fees and outstanding utilities by the 25th of Black August, they will sell our campus. Brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question? Why were we not notified that they were going to try to sell our campus? Brothers and sisters,
that he was notified.
Why are they trying to sell our campus at the very moment that our accounts are frozen? Brothers and sisters, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Is it a...
That's such a... And it's possible that if I didn't break that story, Umar would have remained silent, like someone was mentioning, and let them sell these properties, and then he can create a whole bigger narrative or bigger lie to get more money out of people. You know, they didn't even notify me and they sold them. Not that they're threatening to sell them, right?
Coincidence that the city of Wilmington is trying to sell properties that we own and have been working on continuously behind our...
Okay, that's a lie too. You haven't been working on them continuously. It's intermittently.
Backs. They were going to sell our schools behind our backs. They didn't even tell us that they were going to try to sell our schools. We received no notice in the mail. We received no notice by email. We received no phone calls at all that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door handle. Somebody stole one set of notification.
Okay, no one stole anything, Umar. Okay, they took pictures and sent it to me. That's it right here. I broke the story. Quit crying, you big old baby. Cut it out.
And sent it to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Somebody stole the Frederick Douglass High School.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a pass because even though he talking shit, we're gonna give him a pass on that one. Right?
Paperwork off the front door and sent it to the struggle streamers. But luckily for us, Sister Ra Ebony was able to get the paperwork off the Marcus Garvey School before the haters stole that paperwork.
Cut it out, Umar. He always lying.
I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion.
No, I'm gonna give him a pass.
I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe that they were going to sell the school and they wanted to sell the school before we found out. I believe that they wanted to sell the school before we found out. We were not supposed to know.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. See, I broke the story so that people would know. And now you have to jump through all these hoops to create this story. I think Umar, and he knew about all of this stuff way in advance. These bills go back to 2019. He knew about this. But for Umar, once it's exposed that he wasn't paying these bills, he has to concoct this whole other narrative. And that's what he's attempting to do, but it don't make no sense. We'll get into it. Let's go.
We're going to sell our school. Why do I say that? We were given no notification. We received...
Okay, that's not true either.
No letter in the mail.
That's not true.
We received no email.
That's not true.
We received no phone call.
That's not true either.
That they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door. In a low-income neighborhood, they put a notice.
Well, if it's a low-income neighborhood, why are you going to try to charge these kids $500 a month?
On the door with rubber band and masking tape.
Oh, and they use rubber band. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's such a whiny poo. Told you not to get that Tunde Panhandlism internet package. This is the Tunde Panhandlism internet package. Okay. Now I got a really good service. I get 1 gigabyte to the box, but they be tripping. It's actually more than 1 gigabyte because they upgraded it. But for some reason, it's tripping today. Anyway, it was good when we started, but I'll look into it. Maybe I need to upgrade to some Tunde Panhoarderism internet package. That's the next level. Okay, all right. Thank you for super chat. Let's go.
They put a notice on the school front door with a rubber band and masking tape.
Okay. And?
Brothers and sisters, it gets worse.
Oh.
Back in April, when I found out about the overdue vacant property registration fee.
So you knew in April. You've known this. Because it's been accruing since 2020. He's known about all of this. Cut it out. Now you self-exposed. We're gonna say you set tripping, but you snitching on yourself, self-snitching.
I had asked the city of Wilmington if they could retroactively apply our nonprofit waiver.
No, they can't. I already talked about that.
According to the nonprofit waiver for the city of Wilmington, if you are a nonprofit organization, they will waive your vacant property registration fees for 4 years.
Okay, that's not how that works. And we already went over that. In fact, I can't remember who it was. They sent me this document and I pulled it up and played it and showed it. It's on the website from the city. And what Umar explaining here is not actual and factual at all. It's just ridiculous.
If you are a nonprofit organization in the city of Wilmington, they will waive your nonprofit vacant property registration fees for 4 years. If they would have applied our nonprofit vacant property registration waiver, we would owe absolutely nothing. We would owe absolutely nothing. We would owe absolutely nothing. But I asked them, and they ignored my emails for 4 months.
Cut it out.
They ignored my phone calls for 4 months. They ignored our emails for 4 months. They ignored our phone calls for 4 months. And instead, the first time I hear from them since April, the first time I hear from them since contacting them April, asking them to apply our vacant property registration fee waiver to the past 4 years so we would owe absolutely nothing, they ignored me since April. They ignored me since April. No.
By the way, April, so we got May, June, July, August. With Umar, what he's saying is for about 4 months. Cut it out. Even if it is 4 months, it's not 4. He wasn't, and we'll get into the other part of this. Umar lied because there was an official from the city of Wilmington who laid all this to rest and proved that Umar Johnson was lying. But it's only 4 months. Anyway, any way you look at it, it's 4 months. You want to go with Umar's lie, it's just 4 months. Cut it out like he didn't know.
Phone call, no email, nothing in the postal mail since April. And the first thing we find out, the first time we hear from them since April, is a letter on the front door of the school, affixed with a rubber band and masking tape. A rubber band and masking tape.
Okay, you already said that, crybaby. Leonard, you crack me up every time you say cut it out, Umar, and knock it off. That's what I used to tell my kids, cut it out, cut it out. So Umar, he's like a big old kid. I'm trying to give him some discipline, so I tell him to cut it out. My wife say, cut it, cut it. All right, here we go.
Brothers and sisters, giving us 20 days to pay these back taxes.
It's not back taxes. He don't even know what he's talking about. He's so stupid. It's not taxes. That's why when you look on ammunition, you look under taxes, there's nothing there. If you look under my name in the middle, LenonHonor, that's my name. Okay. If you look under it, it says amount of judgment, taxes, 0. Boy, this guy, he's so, boy, anyway.
We already paid $30,000 for water that we don't even use.
Well, whose fault is that? You big goof? That's called a burn down rate. If you sit on these trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware for all of these years, and you get water turned on and not one black child been educated, you're going to have to pay bills on the water. Even if you don't use any water, there's still going to be bills associated with the account. So don't cry about it now. It's just a waste of money. He said, how much he say? 30,000?
We just paid $30,000 to the city of Wilmington for water that we don't even use.
Let me add that.
And now we got to pay another $30,000 for vacant property registration fees that we shouldn't even owe because we should have a waiver.
Okay, by the way, when he says the water bill, that's something separate from the water and sewer charges, because the water and sewage charges, this has to do with what they call the stormwater drain or something to that effect. Even if you don't have water service to your buildings that come into the building, just by owning the property, you're going to have water and sewer charges. That's what he's not referring to that. He's talking about for having an account with a water company and then having it on, whether he uses it or not, he's still going to have bills. But again, it makes no sense. Why would you purchase these abandoned buildings and sit on them at this time when he's doing this video for 6 years and roughly 9 months and have water on for at least 5 of those years? It makes no sense, because ultimately you're going to be wasting money paying on water services and the school's not even up and running, right? He's traveling around the world. He still has to pay. You donors, I should say, you're paying for these services that have nothing to do with educating black boys. Anyway, wasting money.
We should have a waiver. And it gets worse, brothers and sisters.
Here you go.
It gets worse because they are raising the vacant property registration fee. They are raising.
And the way this works is, because he's misrepresenting the facts. I don't have I can pull it up and I can find it. But the way this works is that it escalates over time. Right. So if you, let's say the first year for vacant property, it may be 5,000, second year, 5,000, third year goes to 8,000, fourth year goes to 10,000, next year goes to 50, whatever the case, it just escalates over time. It's a scale, right? So what happens is when you reach a particular tier, and Umar's at that tier at this point, the next year they're going to raise it. And that's what they will be doing for this past year. Is that right? Yeah, for this past year. And at some point that'll be public record too.
The vacant property registration fee this fall from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year. I'm going to say it again.
Okay, and?
They are raising the vacant property registration fee this fall from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year. Brothers and sisters, I want y'all to get ready for a protest. I want all FDMG donors and supporters to get ready for a protest. We may have to march on City Hall, brothers and sisters. We may have to march on City Hall because of the racism. I'm going to call it what it is, racism. Discriminatory treatment. Why did we?
Okay, so if you don't pay your bill or bills, it's racism? Because that's the issue. No, that's not how that works, Umar. If you would pay your bills, they wouldn't have gotten to this point. If you had paid these bills, it ain't got nothing to do with racism. That's just a narrative. Again, he wants to spin this story and use racism as the reason why now too. It's just ridiculous. He never holds himself accountable for anything. Just like narcissists, that's what they do. Yeah, and these bills are racist now. He got racist bills coming through. Here we go.
We get no notification that y'all are going to sell our schools. Why did you not respond to any of our emails to retroactively apply our vacant property registration fee waiver?
VP call it. Umar still got that ringtone.
In Delaware family. Shout out to our Wilmington, Delaware family. They love Dr. Umar and FDMG. I'm talking about the power structure of Wilmington, Delaware. We knew they didn't want us in that city, but we didn't know they would go this far as to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell the school behind our backs.
4 months. Yeah, let me show you all this right quick. Let me do this. I just looked it up. Oh, this is it right here. Let me do a screen share. So, summary of annual registration of vacant buildings and associated fees. Wilmington City Code Chapter 4/4-27, 4-27, 1, 2. Okay. Fee schedule. Your registration fee for this year is based upon the total number of years the property has been vacant as of November 1st, regardless of varying ownership during the period of vacancy. The updated fee schedule is as follows. Less than 1 year, you do not charge anything. At least 1 year, but less than 2 years is $500. At least 2 years, but less than 3 years is $2,500. At least 3 years, but less than 4 years is $5,000. At least 4 years, but less than 5 years is $10,000. At least 5 years or more is $12,000. Right. So what Umar is saying is that it's going to go up to $15,000 the next year. Right. So this first year, this would be 2019. This would be 2020. This would be 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. And actually, since this is November 1st, as of November 1st, regardless of varying during the I'm gonna give Umar the benefit of the doubt because we'll just go with that. Umar, he's had these trap bandos since 2019. We're in 2026 now. So 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's what it is. And then there's 25, which isn't listed here, but it's going to be another 12,000. And then what Umar is saying is that for this next year, this would be for this next year, I think, for the 6 years for Umar at that point when he's doing this video, then it goes up to 15,000. Okay. Anyway, this is all wasted money. And then notice how it says past due fees are not subjected to request for a waiver. All past due balances must be paid in order to receive a waiver of the current year's fees. Additionally, all properties must be registered to receive a waiver of registration fee. Okay, shout out to the person who sent me that.
I didn't know they would go as to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell the school behind our backs.
Months.
I didn't know they would go this far. To ignore us for 4 months and
Thanks,
try to
Will.
sell our schools that we've been working on
Shout out to
for
Black Will.
6.5 years behind our backs. So, brothers and sisters, this is what we're going to do.
Here we go.
We're going to fight like hell to get our money from the bank. We're going to pay off this vacant property registration fee waiver. And we might still have a protest at City Hall because this is wrong, brothers and sisters. I have emailed the mayor. I have gotten no response. I have emailed the chief of staff. I have gotten no response. I have emailed the city council president. I have gotten no response. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to meet with my team and we're going to decide if we're going to go ahead and have this protest. And it ain't going to be one. We're going to do multiple protests. And we're going to invite our donors and supporters from across the state of Delaware, our donors and supporters across the United States, and our donors and supporters across the entire planet. We may have to march on Delaware to let them know that you don't treat black people like this. Because if I was white, I wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Asian, we wouldn't have been
There he go.
treated like this. If we were Arab, we wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Jewish, we wouldn't have been treated like this. But we were treated like this because we were black. How dare you ignore us for 4 months and then put a sign on our door without even telling us that you're going to sell our properties? Brothers and sisters, why didn't we receive a certified letter? Why didn't we receive a certified letter? Why didn't we receive an email? Why didn't we receive a phone call? Oh, we not going to quit. We not going to give in. The only thing left on the elementary school is to lay down the tile. We're going to lay down this tile and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. We're going to lay down this tile and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. We're going to lay down this tile.
Again, this video is from August 12th of 2025. Okay, has he laid down a towel and applied for the certificate of occupancy? We're in January of 2026.
And we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. And if we have trouble getting our inspection and certificate of occupancy, we will have to march.
We will have to march. We might march anyway, brothers and sisters. We're not giving up. We're not giving up, brothers and sisters. We're not giving up. We need y'all to call the mayor of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the mayor's chief of staff in Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the city council president of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the commissioner of license and inspections of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the vacant property office of Wilmington, Delaware, and demand that those unjust fees be removed from our account. Let them know that you are a donor of FDMG. Let them know you are a supporter of FDMG. And let them know that if this situation is not rectified, we will march on the city and we will sue the city of Wilmington, Delaware. We will sue the city of Wilmington, Delaware for racism and discriminatory treatment.
Because he didn't pay his bill?
If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858, text message only. 215-989-9858, text message only. 215-989-9858, text message only. This is your brother, Dr. Umar Tunde, letting you know that I'm still standing for black people. I'm still riding for black boys, and we will open the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. No racism from the city of Wilmington will stop us. No sabotage from the city of Wilmington will stop us. Tomorrow morning, get on your telephone and call the mayor. Tomorrow morning, get on your telephone and call the mayor's chief of staff. Tomorrow morning.
Again, he always causing problems simply because, in this case, he doesn't want to hold himself accountable for not paying bills that have been accruing since 2019.
Get on your telephone and call the commissioner for license and inspections. Tomorrow morning, call the city council president of Wilmington and ask them, why was Dr. Umar in FDMG ignored for 4 months when he was trying to rectify this problem?
Cut it out. He was over in Africa when they posted the munition. The past due bills, the total was $38,388.22.
Why was Dr. Umar in FDMG Academy ignored for 4 months while he was trying to rectify this problem? Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no.
Know what? That you don't have to pay bills? Munya Day Trader Elite says Marcus Garvey was a scammer. Asks about those boats and trying to connect African countries with boats. Yeah, I haven't done much research into. I've watched a couple of documentaries where they talked about the Black Star Line. It was a steamship company, and it didn't go well, not at all. In fact, the idea was to take people to Africa, but also to ship back and forth goods to Africa, from Africa to the United States of America, and then so that it'd be like more like, you know, black people around the world trading with each other and, you know, doing business. But from what I understand, he purchased some dilapidated ships, just like Umar purchased these dilapidated buildings, and nothing ever came out of it. He was also he was issuing stocks. There were stocks in this company as well, and a lot of people lost a whole lot of money. Well, Umar in February of 2019 says that he was going to have spiritual stock certificates for FDMG, whatever that's supposed to mean. Right? Ironically, he never went to Africa. Marcus Garvey, he never even went to Africa. He took the title of the provisional president of Africa, but he never went over there. That's disrespectful, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's disrespectful. Thank you, Munya Day Trader Elite, for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no. Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no. We will not retroactively apply your vacant property registration fee waiver.
Yeah, and I just showed you the webpage where they specifically state that you cannot retroactively apply it.
No problem. We could have got a payment plan.
For past due years, right?
No problem. We could have got a payment plan. No problem. We could have got a payment plan.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not saying that Marcus Garvey was a scammer because I haven't researched him well enough. I haven't. That's why I stated I haven't looked into him. But that's one of the issues that was brought up in several of these documentaries was how he was promoting things and ideas that had no foundation in reality, in essence. If you're gonna this whole idea of going back to Africa, or the idea of taking back black people back to Africa, you should at least go there yourself. And if you're gonna call yourself the provisional president of Africa, you should at least go there. But even still, that should be a determination made by all of the African countries if they're going to give you the provisional president. But that's not what took place there. For him to take that title, I think it's disrespectful. But it's beyond that. There's other things too. But again, I'm not calling him a scammer because I haven't researched him in depth at all. Okay, so I can't say that. Okay, here we go. And that's just, I got to be fair, right?
But instead of responding to me the first week of April, instead of responding to me,
Marcus Garvey could not afford to go to Africa, just like Umar can't afford the bando. well, the truth is that Marcus Garvey, when he passed away, he was destitute, right? So, yeah, Umar. The thing is, Umar can't afford anything unless people send him donations, because he doesn't have a job. I mean, he's been living off of the people since 2011, with the exception of having employment sometime in 2000, I want to say 2014 and 2000, what was that, 17, I think? Yeah, let me get that figure because I need to memorize that. And it was for a matter of months, right? Anyway, Umar can't afford anything unless people send him money. Okay? Yeah. He's a charlatan. Thank you, Mind Chaos Brew. I appreciate it. Here we go.
The first week of April. Instead of responding to me the first week of April, they ignore us for 4 months and put a sign on our door this past weekend. They ignore us for 4 months and put a sign on our door this past weekend saying we're going to sell these schools if you don't pay our money. We're not going to email you. We're not going to send you a letter in the mail. We're not going to call you. We're going to put a letter on your door that somebody can take and run off with, as somebody did. They took the letter off the high school and
didn't nobody run off with nothing, Umar. Cut it out. You better watch your mouth.
Sent it to YouTube, the struggle streamers. What if they took the letter off the elementary school?
Oh, boo.
What if they took the letter off the elementary school? What if they took the letter off the elementary school? Brothers and sisters, we need your donation so we can pay this bill. They say we owe $20,000 on the elementary school. They say we owe $20,000 on the high school. They say we owe approximately $20,000 on the elementary school. They say we owe.
Okay, it's $38,308.22, Umar. Okay, cut it out.
Approximately $20,000 on the high school. Our accounts are frozen. Our accounts are frozen.
Yeah, you see how he's tying all this back around? That's why he came up with the accounts being frozen lie, because he wanted to justify why it was that he didn't pay these bills. And then this gives him an excuse to ask for more money. See that?
Our accounts are frozen. We need y'all to help us pay this bill. We're going to fight like hell to get our accounts freed up. We're going to fight like hell to get our accounts freed up. But if we don't, y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school. Y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school. Y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school. You don't have to root for me, brother. I don't need you. I got more than enough supporters. But I want everybody to know that there might be a protest soon. We need you to come in from Africa, from Europe, from Australia, from Canada, to come in from all the 50 states and show the city of Wilmington, Delaware. You will not disrespect black.
Yeah, did he ever do any of this? No.
Black people. You will not sabotage black people. You will not discriminate against black people. And you will not try to steal property from black people. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde, standing strong, Leo season. We will not quit. We will not abdicate. We will not equivocate. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
We will not pay bills. We will not get a job.
Garveyism to get back. Pan Africanism to perish. See you in Nat Turner land. See you in New Orleans. See you in Hattiesburg. See you in Mobile, Alabama. This is your brother, King Kong Consciousness.
See you at unemployment line. All right.
I love you too. Peace and Pan Africanism.
Okay. So let's do this real quick. There's a brother who did a response to this particular. We were covering this too, but there's a brother before we close out here. I got 7 minutes. There's a brother, his name is Basic Black Podcast, who contacted the city of Wilmington to inquire about this situation. and let's go ahead and take a few minutes. This is a short video to listen to his report on this. All right, here we go.
Hey, brothers and sisters, putting out a really quick, totally could be done better video, but I think for the situation, it needs to be put out there now. To everybody who's given money to Dr. Umar Johnson, I strongly advise you stop. In an effort to try to figure out what the situation is, I reached out to the city of Wilmington, Delaware, and I had correspondence with with Daniel T. Walker, who is one of the managers and deals with communications and whatnot. I received an email back from him about an hour ago. And pardon me if I look away from the screen because I'm actually looking at a different monitor, but I want to read this to you. Unfortunately, the statements made by Dr. Umar are simply untrue and inaccurate. City of Wilmington has issued numerous communications concerning the two properties, and the communication from the property owner has been infrequent and scarce. Our goal is to simply ensure that properties come into compliance with existing regulations. This is true of our approach to every property in Wilmington and ensures our buildings are safe and constructed adequately. We have a process to follow. The motion notice he received is another step that we will process. We invite Dr. Umar along with every property owner to communicate with our offices and determine the appropriate next steps of any property that enters in this phase of enforcement. Even this week, our office has contacted Dr. Umar, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Y'all got to forgive me. I got to get some. The office has contacted Dr. Umar this week and has, let's see, inviting him once again. Mm-hmm. So he's lying to you, inviting him once again to comply with our regulations and speak with our delinquent accounts team and Department of License and Inspections to determine the path forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prince of Pan Africanism is a liar. Mm-hmm. The Prince of Pan Africanism is a liar. The Prince of Pan Africanism is a liar and a grifter. And if you are giving money to Dr. Umar, he is unfortunately another one of these paper doctors who are out here grifting. I've reported about this numerous times, and you normally don't get the press and pub that it deserves. But as a service, I'm gonna ask everybody who's listening to the Basic Black podcast, and who's listening on this Instagram video, and who's listening on this YouTube video, who's listening regardless of where the platform states, follow, like, and subscribe. I mean, I'm joking with the headscarf and whatnot, but we really have to address how we're looking at grifters in our community. No one is immune. And there are others who have claimed to build projects and museums and whatnot that aren't really too far behind Dr. Johnson. For anybody saying that this is BS and whatnot, I'm going to try to turn my camera around. Probably can't see it well, but that is the email that I'm reading from, and I'll be more than happy to provide it, and I'll put it in a link in this video.
Okay, so I want to thank this brother from the Basic Black podcast. I took this a step forward because I try not to report on things unless I've verified information. There are times where I will kind of give a little leeway, but this brother, he had contacted me, but I told him that I needed to verify first. He was like, yeah, he said he could appreciate that. And I went and I emailed, I have the email here. I emailed Daniel Walker, and he's wilmington.de.gov. So it's a government website. He worked for the government, and I had asked a quick question. I said, my name is LenonHonor. I'm an investigative reporter, and I've researched Umar since 2019. Can you confirm that you replied to an email from a Mr. Jackson? Okay, that would be the Basic Black podcast, where you stated, and then I stated exactly what the brother stated in the Basic Black podcast. And Daniel T. Walker responded to me the following day at 7:14 a.m., August 18th of 2025. Good morning, Mr. Honor. Thank you for reaching out. Yes, I can confirm I am the author of the response outlined below. All right. So Umar, he lied about this all across the board. In fact, there is a timeline and I don't see it on here. I have it somewhere, but there's a timeline wherein the representative from the city of Wilmington specifically gave dates in terms of communication that where they reached out to Umar, and it proves that Umar he's a liar. Umar lies. He can't hold himself accountable for anything, and so he comes up, he concocts these stories that are way over the top and fanciful. But that's what I mean by Umar is a pathological liar. He, in this case, he's trying to paint the narrative, which is not true. He's trying to paint the narrative that he's being persecuted, he's being sabotaged by the bank, he's being sabotaged by the city of Wilmington, he's being sabotaged by the YouTube and struggle streamer who stole some paperwork, what have you. It's never Umar's fault. Really what it comes down to is that he needed to pay the bills. He should have paid the bills from the jump. And the bills, inevitably, it was $38,388.22. And Umar, he starts to go on this campaign to close out. Let me give you some examples. Here's from the following day, the 16th, from when this video posted that we just watched, I believe. Here you go. Help us pay Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, RBG International Leadership Academy using help us pay. Whatever. PayPal.me, PayPal. Save FDMG, right? Wasn't saying this before. Help us. Save FDMG, PayPal. Okay, this is from the 17th. Here's from the 18th. Earth Day donation, save our school, because he needs to get this money by the 21st. No struggle, no progress. And then, of course, magically on the same day, that 18th, the FDMG bank account is still frozen. So he needs you guys to send him money because he doesn't have access to the funds that he already has. He's a con man, y'all. This proves it right here. Them bank accounts wasn't frozen. He just wanted to get people to send him more money so that he can spend that extra money on paying these bills that he should have paid long time ago with the money that he received for years for this FDMG school scam. So this is the 18th right here. All right, we're going to leave it right here, okay, for this live stream. In fact, let's go forward to the 28th. And finally, his funds were unfrozen on the 28th. Okay, Umar, he ended up paying off this past due amount of $38,388, but his bank accounts were allegedly unfrozen. I don't think they ever was frozen. So if he's ever audited, they should look into this too, right? And then the next tomorrow, what we're going to get into is, this was the 28th. We're going to go from the 28th to the 31st, where Umar appeared on Father David
Douglas
Word Radio.
We teach it all right now today, as many of you can see, because I am a true believer. Never give up on greatness. I know that greatness sometimes take a long time, but it always comes around on time. I want to say good afternoon, Dr. Umar Johnson. How you doing today?
Peace and Pan Africanism, and happy Black August to all the brothers and sisters out there.
That's right. Is it still August? Because I'm telling you, I was so remiss. Last week, we...
All right, that's enough. That's enough, buddy. Okay, we'll get into that tomorrow. That'll be our main focus for tomorrow. Sharif says Umar got a PhD in it's a excuse me, it's a panhandling degree. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. Umar has a PhD in panhandling. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Did we get to the 600 likes? Our goal was 500. Yeah, we got to 605. So thank you guys so much for tuning on in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Also, thanks to the mods for handling bits. I want to thank everyone who sent in super chats. If you sent in super stickers, thank you so much for that as well. Tomorrow, we'll pick up where we left off. It'll probably be a shorter show, but we'll get into that final video from August 31st of 2025. And at that point, once we get through that, we'll be pretty much complete finished. Not all the way finished, but we'll be close to being finished with the review of 2025. I'll be working on the documentary. I want to have that. It's not going to be tomorrow. It'll be Thursday. I'll have the next video segment for the documentary rough draft for members only. We'll do a live stream to cover that. Okay, so shout out to all the members. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. All right, and as promised, as we always do, and shout out to Kogo too for putting this together. Here we go.
Rap people, great work today.
There we go. Oh, yeah, quick. I'm sorry. Poll results. I'm sorry. 1,340 votes. Were you surprised that Umar Johnson almost lost the Bandos in 2025? 11% said yes. 89% overwhelmingly said no. I'm going to close out the poll. Thanks, everyone who voted on that poll. And let's get back to the Scrub Daddy, Room 130, P. Diddy, no Diddy. Let's
People, great work today.
Look at how the metrosexual man did his hand. He got one of the things in his hand, but look at how he do.
People, great work today.
Y'all see that? Watch how he moves his hand.
Rap people, great work today.
Well, I never noticed that. He got a scrub daddy in his hand. All right, here we go. Good fresh, that's undefeated.
Lights are rolling on a ruby set today. Action cutting down and packing things away. Heading to the red roof in room 130. Homie gonna sponge my hair real nice and make me look real pretty. Rose over hoes, ask how we roll. Turning down the heat, you know where we meet. At the red roof in room 130. My guy gonna do my hair and make me look real pretty. Ain't no couch where he can sleep, but the bed real sturdy. So come and stay the night in room 130. Drink so big they barely fit the silver screen. Director yells, heard as we end another scene. Red roof nights, with me and the homie B. Sponge my hair all night, probably won't get no sleep. Rose over hoes, that's how we roll. Turning down the heat, you know where we meet. At the red roof in room 130. My guy gonna do my hair and make me look real pretty. Ain't no couch where he can sleep, but the bed real sturdy. So come and stay the night in room 130.
What's up, Diego? Hey, Silver Floor.
Room 130. My guy gonna do my hair and make me look real pretty. Ain't no couch where he can sleep, but the bed real sturdy. So come and stay the night in room 130.
Yeah, Cook Fresh, that's undefeated. Got to get I'm trying to look purty. All right. Pause. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. We'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. We'll pick it up where we left off. Shout out to the Cookie Crush Chats undefeated. Also, thanks to everyone who sent in super chats. I always appreciate the support that I get here on YouTube. You guys are the best. Cookie Crush Chats undefeated. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.